Southport wearing a special jumper today. We won't bring that up until we figure out
what it is actually for. I know they're optioning it.
Yeah, it's got poppies and whatnot on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got it. So it's very charity. I called Heroes on the home front.
You are a gun, Ben.
Heroes on home front.
Yeah.
This is all of these people you see in broadcasting and all that
That's a fundraiser
don't get their
for
credit.
Assist veterans in finding the programs and support they may require.
Statsman.
Fundraiser for Heroes on the home front.
Assist veterans.
Fundraiser veterans.
So the green is the colour of Heroes on the home front. The camouflage is the armed forces. The poppy is represent veterans.
There you go. Big fella. 100 games today.
Good job. I wrote that story on him, and then
Shane's out. It's not key.
And 40.
I wrote that story on Ted Turner, and then because I put in the headline, it was like essentially told a Maroochydore that he wouldn't play high net. And then on the Facebook post, in the comments, his coach commented interesting headline. The Maroochydore coach.
So he didn't deny it.
No.
He said interesting.
Interesting.
He said, he's not massive.
All right, guys, we're ready when you guys are.
Cool. Oh, good. Okay. Let's do it, gentlemen. Okay. Welcome to Fankhauser Reserve. It's the home of the Southport Sharks. This is NEAFL TV, round 21. Southport Sharks versus Sydney University. It's going to be a cracking game of football. We're streaming live on NEAFL TV through our broadcast partner, PAR TV. Michael Price is my name. Joining me and doing all of the commentary will be Riley Starray. Riley, we just saw Jed Turner tossing the coin in the middle of the field. He's playing his 100th NEAFL game today, and he tossed the coin for Southport. Won the toss. It's a fair start for Jed.
It certainly is, and it's a credit to him as well. Of course, he's seen at times to be a little bit of a journeyman. There was articles during the week how allegedly Maroochydor's coach said he wouldn't be able to make it at that local level, but he's up to his 100th game in the NEAFL. He's won a flag with Aspley. He won a flag last year for Southport, and he is an absolute vet in this competition, all heart, and it's a real credit to him the way he's performed over the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. As for this game, it's going to be a cracker. Sydney University fourth on the ladder. Southport Sharks, of course, second. University have been really good the last few weeks. Southport, of course, on the home deck, very hard to beat. Joining us in special comments is the encyclopedia of Queensland footy, Mr. Bob Batty. Bob, cracking game ahead of us.
Yeah, looking forward to this one, Michael. This should be a ripper, shouldn't it? Second, play fourth. All to play for, Sydney Uni. They must win today. They've got Aspley and the Giants barking at their heels. So there's a real incentive for the students to win today, but it's always hard to beat Southport at their home ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Southport with a late change as well. Jack O'Shea has been omitted from the side late. Charlie Ford, the Western Suburbs boy, comes in as the replacement for him. He was an emergency. No changes for Uni. Bob, how do you reckon it's going to go? Do you?
Yeah, look, I think just that home ground advantage, Southport. I think Sydney Uni will be with them all day. I think it'll be close. Southport by maybe 5 to 6 points.
What about you, Riley?
Yeah, I think similar as well. This is probably the best side Southport have picked in a couple of months. They had all their players available, the likes of Matt or Andrew Boston. They're all playing. They're all in form as well. They had a really good morale-boosting win last week against the Thunder. I think they'll come out just winners this afternoon.
Not a lot of breeze here at Fankhauser Reserve. Beautiful day for footy. NEAFL TV round 21. Southport versus Sydney Uni. Riley Starray.
So opening bounce, rucks go at it, Tagliabue wins it and taps it to himself, gets the first clearance of the afternoon towards the forward 50. No mark taken there at the bottom of the pack from Bun Waylos, but he got a hand pass away, missed Turner, but it eventually falls to Boston. He gets dribbling sort of a ball, Mentha feeds it back to Shaw, shows a good composure, goes to the middle until the kick. And it's been turned over. It's going to go to Stevenson, who was very good last week and goes right into the circles.
Well, once again, Sydney Uni straight away into attack, out the back. Stern turns around, pops it up. It's going to be a bit of a 2-on-1. Getting back there and providing the contest for Southport was Taylor. Just made it difficult. It goes over the back now. Sharks again, usually pretty composed in this situation. Tape gets the handball. Now it's coming out here to Boston. Plenty of space there for El Mucho. Looking for the long kick. Bounces for Fields. Pushed over the line, and we're going to get a throw in. Uni with a couple of forays into attack to start proceedings. Southport again, they just look nice and calm there, Riley.
They certainly do. It's one of the best forward lines in the last couple of months of the Sydney University students up against consistently one of the best defences in the NEAFL. It's going to be a very good battle this afternoon. So there's the throw in. Neither ruckman got to it that time. Trapped on the bottom of the ground and was almost extracted the fife, but not to be. Tackle laid from Bailey Stewart, who was one of the students best last week. Of course, Bob, you were there last week for Uni. It was a very good game.
Very good last week. Redland had their chances at home, but liked the way Uni attacked the footy.
Cordell, well, his kick was fortuitous enough. It falls to Cole about 55 metres out. Now, he looks like he's going to at least pause to set it up. Now he does, towards the tip of the square. A pack of 4 fly. Spoiled off hands and goes over the boundary. And we'll have a throw in the forward pocket. So it's up. The university students in very early. They want to convert here.
Just readdress that win situation. It is once again favouring the left of screen here on NEAFL TV. See the depth of that shortly. Tagliabue grabs it out of the ruck, has a go. Oh, playing goalkeeper and doing beautifully was Fields for Southport. Now long kick forward over the back. Used his body well. Will it bounce for him? Well, he tried to grab it. Picked up there by Gould. Gets a handball away. Students into attack again. That's a little bit too much. Taylor, he got it away for Southport. Could have been holding the ball. There was a good tackle there by Bartholomaeus. Ball stuck underneath, and we'll have the ball up at centre half forward for Sydney University. Had a couple of minutes, no score yet.
Rucks go at it, give it to Tagliabue that time. Extracted away though from Boston, so into the forward half now for the Sharks. Johnson tried to push off Kilpatrick, the inclusion this week for the students. Still shoes at Johnson, got a soccer away. And it's kicked inside the forward, towards the forward 50. Hall, he's got to beat 2 here, and he's got grass if he can. He did well to at least get some space, sends him board, and it's a good kick to Shaw. Well done from the Sharks. It's fantastic composure from Josh Hall, and Matty Shaw will have the first shot from about 45 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, the former Townsville high jumper, had 2 players to beat there, so he showed great athleticism and a beautiful vision to find Shaw, who's really starting to find some form late in the year.
So Matt Shaw got 5 goals for the year for Southport. Will come in for the first score of the afternoon. It looks to the left, and it is. So only a minor. First score of the afternoon goes the way of the home side. They're one behind. Sydney University yet to score 3.5 gone opening term.
It's a fair start there for Southport. Their first foray into attack. Gould brings the ball out now. Big pack of players. Gee, that's a good mark there taken by Carroll. Well done. Now they're off. Handball. Couple of bounces now. It's chipped back inboard. Bartholomaeus. He chips it forward. Veal. Almost a half volley. Southport setting up nicely. Not giving them a hell of a lot of room, but the students are using the ball well. Just keeping it in hand. There's another kick that goes back there. Carroll forces him to play on. Now they're in a little bit of trouble. It's scrubbed forward. Southport, just numbers here. Once again, they come up straight down the middle. Mitch Johnson's got himself a little bit of space. He kicks and it bounces for him. Oh, he just falls over his own shadow. Beautifully picked up by Kilpatrick. And a nice kick too. Beautifully weighted kick finds his teammate in Barton.
Barton gives the hand pass quickly. Short chipping pass towards Cordell. He's just content to hold it up.
It's like a speed bump in that forward 50. Bob, what happened?
Don't know what happened there with Mitch Johnson. He's usually so clever around near goals, and he had the idea. Beautiful kick from Davis.
Goulden off the left. Good pass as well. Finds Crockmall in the head tape this afternoon. Inboard to Foster. Now he's got an option on the outer wing. And that option is Carroll. He's got some space, which is fortunate enough because the kick wasn't weighted perfectly. Finds Stern. Quickly plays on about 70 metres out. Will try to get past his opponent. Sets it towards the 50. Big fly at the back from Davies. It comes off the hand. Southport of the numbers. Hand pass inboard was all right, but now they're under pressure. Willis couldn't quite get it away. Southport under pressure. But they do well enough to scramble as they so often do. And it'll be a stoppage about 15 metres out from the students' attacking goal.
Hard to break these Southport defenders, Bob.
Certainly, as Riley was spot on earlier, with best defence probably in the competition, I suppose, apart from the Brisbane Lions this year. Southport, they've been very good down there.
Davis clearing kick. Fields to the front position. Couldn't quite take the mark. Oh, well done there by Stern. Now it's going back inside 50. Almost intercepted by Shaw. Handball comes back. Field kick to the top of the square. And a nicely taken once again, Davis. Just controlling things. 41 odd touches last week. He brings it out to the late. Oh, sorry, that's Jack Mentho. I was going to say it was Charlie Ford. Ball was smothered and it goes over the boundary line. We'll have another throw in. Andrew Boston was just claiming the free kick there.
Yeah, I think it actually came off Barton's boot and almost just went over the line. It was a very close call, but umpires give benefit of the doubt.
So throw in again. Tagliabue versus Turner. Turner gets it down. Boston nicely tackled there. Could have been holding the ball. Hacked off the ground. Once again, Southport defence will have this covered if they can control the ball. Willis. High ball. Oh, Mentha had to go against the big ruckman. He actually did well to bring the ball down. Hacked forward by Barton to the 50. Once again, Southport under enormous pressure. Boki, his handball is intercepted. It's hacked up there again by Scrivenich. Southport players spoiling themselves. They're so intent at the moment. Crockmall in the headgear, as Riley said. He's tackled there by Williams, and it'll be held up 40 metres out from the uni students' goal. And boy, oh boy, they're doing the attacking at the moment.
A lot of pressure from both sides.
The tap down from Tagliabue, roving against Davis though. He gets away, good composure, scrubbed it off the left. Hall's basically one out for South. Couldn't quite get it. Robertson taps it back intelligently to Carroll. Sets it back inside the forward 50. Tagliabue, the fly. There's a free kick. And it's going to go the way of Southport. So, for all their dominance of territory early here, the students, they are not taking their opportunities. And they find themselves a point down. Boki to Willis. Got a little bit of time. We'll set it towards halfback. Boston forces the contest down. Rogers feeds it back off the hands to Barkley, who's a left footer, sends it forward to a one-on-one contest. And Dylan Fife, he's really going to win those ones against a much bigger opponent in Sirakowski. You'll have a set up from about 65 in towards the forward 50. A good kick because it favoured the wind. Foster hand passed it towards Davies, but couldn't do much with it. And again, it's tied up inside the forward 50. So it looks like a lot of repeat inside 50s at the moment, but Southport are holding up very well.
Yeah, look, a full team press there, isn't it, from Southport? They've got all their players from the centre of the ground up and really pressuring the students. But the students are up for the battle.
Well, they certainly are. They're in there tackling again at the moment as Fife extracts it for Southport, but only a few metres away. Ford did well against his opponent in Barkley, and that goes back inside 50 for Sydney Uni. Big fly from Foster, hacked out again. It's coming back, Southport. Don't worry about that. Ball with Carroll. He takes it over to Stern. It's an half forward. Every player on the paddock inside. Spearing ball and a great grab. That is a really good mark taken there by Adam Goulden. But what a pass. It was actually straight in front of his face, Bob Batty.
Yeah, good start from Josh Stern. He's been very prevalent already. He's kicked 35 for the season, but playing a bit high today around the wing area. And certainly a good start from the students. And this fella is a lovely kick, so could get the first goal on the board here.
Only the 4 goals for the year. Comes in from 45 degree angle. Strikes it nicely, and Sydney Uni on the board first here at Fankhauser Reserve. The first goal of round 21, and it is one straight Sydney Uni, one behind Southport. We played about 8.5 minutes of the first term.
Yeah, great work there from Sydney University. A little bit of reward on the scoreboard there because they really dominated in terms of territory in the forward half of the ground. Southport really only had 2 opportunities in the first 9.5, 10 minutes. But you just get the feeling that they're going to have to really get the hot start today because, as we've mentioned in the coverage, they win this afternoon. They get a home elimination final next week. If they lose, it leaves it very likely that potentially Aspley or the Giants can take that off them. So it's massive stakes for the students today.
Definitely. So 5 points of margin early. the umpires have just gone for the 666 warning. Just make sure that everybody's in their positions. Good work there from umpire Sam.
So back in the middle, Turner wins it down over Banuelos. It comes off hands. Turner couldn't get it. Now Fife does, but immediately tackled. Feeds it back to the big man in his 100th, and his typical fashion, racing sort of a ball inside the forward 50. Johnson should kick this. Comes over the back, 20 metres out. And that's a good goal there for Mitch Johnson. He's come back in form in the last few weeks. That's goal number 13 in his last 4 games. Southport back in front, 1-1-7, the 1 straight 6, 10.5 gone into this opening quarter.
And it's going to really lift his confidence in it, because he fell over his own bootlaces there probably about 5 minutes earlier when he had the run of the footy running in towards goal, and Kilpatrick cleared it away. So that'll raise his confidence. The 2 Sydney Uni defenders together, and got to be a little bit better than that. Got to get a punch and get it. Don't let it get over the back. So well done, Mitch Johnson, and a good answer from the Southport Sharks.
Mitch Johnson, he popped out of the side there for a few weeks, popped back in, and it's great to see him back. He loves a goal, doesn't he? He loves to get involved in the forward 50. Tagliabue versus Turner. Call that one a draw. Turner gets back in and gets involved. The wobbly left footer. Dangerous spot through hands over the back. Johnson could use his strength and pace here. Uni got it covered though. They're going to escort over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in the right forward pocket for Southport. Uni have had, in the first 10 minutes of the game, all of the ball in their forward 50. They're trailing by a point, and Southport looking dangerous here.
So there's the throw in. Banuelos does well to tap to himself, then gets a punch further on. Fife couldn't quite get. That's a snap from Boston, just to the near side. The Mexican wrestler started looking better form in recent weeks, getting ready for another finals tilt. 2 points the margin, 1-2 to 1 straight, 11 or 12 minutes gone opening
Just
quarter.
those last 2 centre clearances, tap from Turner, and even the pick up and kick forward by Turner. Well done.
Getting involved in his 100th NEAFL game, Jed Turner. It's at half forward for Southport. Hot footy again. Shaw extracting handball, gets it out to Mentha from 50. He lets go to the goal post and pops through. It looked like it was going to hit the post all the way through. You followed it through the cameras of NEAFL TV, through Bar TV, and it curled through for Jack Mentha. Southport get their second. 2-2-14 to 1 straight 6. 8 points the margin.
Yeah, well, I mentioned Jed Turner. He caused that spillage again there. He knocked big Banuelos A over T. It was picked up by Matt Shaw, and a beautiful handball out to Mentha. And you did have great vision from Bar TV on that kick. It looked like it was definitely going to snip that post, but no snicko here. And certainly a good goal for Southport. And that's going to be a worry with Banuelos when Tagliabue goes off. I just reckon they've probably got Hall and Turner are probably better as a pair.
Certainly probably agree with that one. So back in the middle. It'll be Hall against Banuelos, the man you just mentioned. Banuelos wins it over the back that time with the tap, but not really 21's advantage. As well done from Southport. They'll almost go in again. Daldo kick was immediately smothered. Shaw, he's been very prominent early. Instead, he kicked it straight though. The Bartholomeus, who goes wide. Dangerous sort of a ball, because Ville's got to do well here. Hand pass over the top was good composure. Robertson down the line about 30 metres. Is a kick that's just turned over. Almost looked like he was bumped off his kick. And it's set inside 50 from Hall. Big plays. Well, Stubbs almost flew uncontested. Couldn't take the mark. Kilpatrick goes short. Finds Veal. And he'll go to the outer side. And Sydney University try and get it away through Robertson.
So Luke Robertson, it's a right half back. All of a sudden, the tables seem to have turned, and Sydney Uni are enormous pressure. Half back, down to the wing. Off hands there. It was really well done by Miller, but he didn't quite get his foot to the ball. Umpire said it was incorrect disposal. Uni quick to actually jump on it. Rogers now bounces for him. Stops, props, goes back inboard. In fact, that was Sirakowski. Now it goes back to the outer side. Once again, they're going the different angles, Sydney Uni, just looking to sort of chop and change as they enter 50, give themselves some more options, but straight through the corridor was beautifully read by Brodie Murdoch. Southport, again, immaculately set up behind the play. Shaw.
So Shaw at half back. Goes towards the wing. Not the greatest of kicks. It pinches itself out of play. Of course, this will be Southport's last game for the next 2 weeks. They have secured the bye in week 1 of the finals, so it's almost like a final dress rehearsal for them before they have a home preliminary final. And, well, Barkley returns the favour. It'll be Southport's footy.
Speaking of dress rehearsal, just having a look at the jersey that Southport are wearing. It's a green camouflage poppy. Heroes on the home front. It's a fundraiser for veterans. So the green represents the heroes, the camo, the armed forces, and the poppy, that represents veterans as well, as Andrew Boston takes the mark. Just in front of the interchange gates, co-captain of a premiership side last year, Andrew El Mucho Boston. The right shoe. He's an immaculate kick of the foot. Goes to half forward, beautifully jumped ball by Hall. Nicely rode by Ford. Gets one out. Once again, the pressure's enormous from Uni. Golden got involved. He couldn't quite get it out. It's hacked out now. It's going to pop there for Southport again. They're just set up nicely. Taylor, handball over the top to Clark. He gets it to centre half forward, but that doesn't really advantage the Sharks. Uni have got a chance here. They're going to try and hold the ball up, and they do. Umpire Sam Somerville comes in and says, we'll ball it up at centre half forward for the Sharks. They lead by 8 points, 16 goals in the first quarter.
Yeah, lifted their intensity, haven't they, Southport, the last 6 or 7 minutes, and really starting to get their teeth into this game.
Boston got a hand pass away from the stoppage. Dale snaps it towards goal. Doesn't get enough distance on the student. Should have it covered. Goes over the back of Carroll. Hand passed across goal. Bartholomeus clears. Sierakowski's got to take it. Almost does. He got pushed off it slowly from Hall, then tackled. So they're under pressure again here, the students. And umpire Sam Somerville says, give me once again. It looks like in the last 5 minutes the breeze is really going to the right of screen here, Pricey. It's picked up a bit.
Having a look at the flags to our left, you can't see them on the screen at the moment, but they definitely look like it has sort of changed direction and swirling a bit as Uni. Under enormous pressure to get the ball out, could have been pinged for illegal disposal. It was Johnson, got the handball to Williams. Williams curls, that's it. Good tackling effort, good forward pressure from Southport resulted in the ball spilling. And another good goal, Josh Williams, the former North Melbourne player. Returned after a couple of years at AFL level, gets another goal for the Sharkies.
Yeah, really lifted the pressure, haven't they? And the students starting to fumble a bit, even their experienced players. Sierakowski out here had plenty of space and fumbled a little bit. Foster back in the midfield, Foster fumbled a little bit. So, look, they really need a lift now from their more experienced players. Stevenson now back in the middle, Tagliabue in the middle. They need the next goal, the students, to get back into this contest, because Southport put their stamp on the game.
That they certainly have. Two of the best clearance runners in the NEAFL this afternoon going head-to-head. Tagliabue had 11 last week against Redlands. And that's the thing that Jed Turner's known for as well. Back in the middle, Tagliabue won it down that time. Bartholomeus got it away just off the hands. Find Robertson, then we'll send it towards half. Foster the target for the students. It's from the back, Davis. Hand passed it back to Bowie. Break 2 tackles, does very nicely, and he's lefty too. Goes inside. Good composure from the young man towards half forward. Johnson, well, it was cut off the lead, but he good second effort, fed it to Fields inside the forward 50. And the Sharks are going to have another chance here. And it's going to come through Josh Hall. And he's going to have a shot. Elementary, you'd think, about 25 metres out. Not much angle.
Yeah, well done, Kwabi Bokai, wasn't it? Very good across half-back. They've solid across there, but he gives them that little bit of extra dash, doesn't he?
He certainly does. Provides a bit of an X factor for this Shark side. So Hall sets it on its way, and he picked it very nicely. So after the students dominated all the territory in the first 8 or so minutes, Southport suddenly find themselves 20 points up. 4-2-26 to 1 straight 6. About to tick in the time on opening term.
Just having a look at some of the individual stats. A brilliant start from Andrew Boston. He's got 7 disposals, 5 kicks as well, so he's really using the ball and using his strength. When it comes to the rest of them, you've got Goulden on 7, Stern on 7, Bartholomeus on 6. So Boston's risen the cream to the top, but there's a lot of Sydney players that are getting their hands on the ball. They're turning it over, Bob, and Southport putting a lot of pressure. Yeah,
a lot of pressure. They've got numbers at the contest. As soon as the ball spills, they outnumber them certainly at every contest. So well done, Southport. Good start.
Now it's Turner and Tagliabue. Give that one to Turner. Hacked out of there by Dale. Goes to centre half forward. Now Barkley on the left foot. It's a well-directed kick, but here comes Boak. He's going to put some pressure on. Does well. Oh, he dances a dime. Gets the handball away too. Nicely done, Anteet. It's back there to Murdoch. Back to Anteet. He goes one way, then the other. They look like a little bit of a training run. They're taking a little bit too easily, but they're still getting the ball out. It comes out to Boakey, shooting the handball around. It's reminiscent of the Western Bulldogs, the way they're handballing now. It's hacked up high at the back. Meant they had to do some work, but it was well done by Barkley. You could see the actual ball hold up in the breeze.
So Barkley, short with the pass to Gould. Barely the 15, but Mark is paid. He's someone you really want to get in the game if you're in the university. He's such a good user. By foot, off both legs. And as soon as I say that, he almost sends it up into the cabana bar.
It was well done there, but again, it's the pressure though, isn't it, Bob? They're just putting so much pressure on since the 10-minute mark of this quarter. They've really laid it on Southport.
Yeah, it's university just looking upfield, and they just haven't got a target. That's what's happening, and they're putting themselves under pressure.
Boston with his 8th touch. Beautiful pass. Put it out there. There's nothing the defender could do there. It was well taken by Dylan Mutu. Mutu's got a lot of the playing fraternity in front of him. He kicks it long to half forward. Well, went through the hands of Hall. At the back, it shot through by Cordell. Got the handball for Uni. Now under a lot of pressure was Veal. He's tackled over the line by a couple of them, including Dale. A little bit of stink as they get up to. Southport just wandering away from that. Matt Shaw getting interested. But there'll be a throw in the right forward pocket for the Sharkies.
So another opportunity here for Southport. What has turned to be a very fruitful quarter for them. Don't know if you can give it to the ruckman that time. Shaw tries to lay the tackle. Mutu first there for the Sharks. Back to Davis. Sends it inside the forward 50. A pack of 4 will form. Almost goes over the back. Spoiled off the hands there. Ball it went towards Johnson. Fed further back. 5. Goes again. Good stand step there from Manteet. Finds Murdoch. Steps inside. That was beautiful. The finish on goal is even. Well, I was going to say better, but it just missed right at the end. So Southport peppering 4-3 to 1 straight. Almost 22 gone into this first quarter.
This is Brody Murdoch would have sent the cabana bar here into raptures with the goal. Only kicked a couple for you. It's brought back in for you. But once again, Southport have got this covered. All of a sudden, Uni looking flat. It goes back inside 50. Under pressure again. A tackle by Dale extracted the ball. Now once again, Uni being held up. Umpire comes in and says we'll ball it up in a very dangerous spot. It's only 25 metres out from the Southport goal. They're leading by 21 points after Sydney Uni kicked the first goal of the game. Slapped down. Now Uni to get out of it. Crockmore tries to spear a pass once again. It just overshoots the target. Really spoiled. Picked up there by Clark. Whistle on play. It's going to be a free kick. It'll go to Uni. Just off the ball there. Looks like Rogers.
It just overzealous tackle there, just held on to him a little bit too long. But look, the fervour and the fanaticism of the Southport Shark players is most visible, isn't it? They're all over him at the moment.
Oh, so it's Morrison, sorry, with the ball.
So Morrison short. Oh, that could be 50. It was bump ball in the end. Good mark from Veal, though.
That's in the old vernacular. Made him earn it there, Bob.
Certainly did. He's a very solid defender for him, Seb Tape, the captain.
So Veal forced to retreat. Finds Rogers, goes short to Stevenson. But again, the fluency of ball movement we normally see from Sydney Uni is just not happening at the moment. Robertson, that's a little better. Tries to find Foster. Instead, it's cut off by a student inside the forward 50. Off the hands of Cole. Well done from Davies. Crockmale 40 metres out to one-on-one towards the square. Big contest coming up. Stern, while he's pushed off the footy. No free kick. Alham passes it back. This could be problematic. The students should kick a goal, and they do. It wasn't exactly textbook, but it's a goal in the end. And Ed Cole has got the students this afternoon. 4-3-27 to 2 straight. We've played 24 minutes into this opening term.
Well, to say they needed that is an understatement. They really struggled to get the ball forward, but they kept at it. They had numbers. They seemed a bit more space when they went forward that time. And good crumbing there. It was either Cole or big Tagliabue that could have got his boot on that, but Ed Cole was just a little bit quicker, got his toe on it, and a badly needed goal. Look, they need probably the next goal as well to at least get some semblance of back into this game, because Southport are dominating at present.
They are. 15 points the margin, though. Just having a look at just starting the final quarter at Tramway Oval. The Sydney Swans leading the Brisbane Lions by 2 points. 65 plays 63. We'll keep you updated on that one on NEAFL TV as Southport try to extract that ball and they're not going anywhere. Good tackling effort. Once again, Boston comes up with it. Turner Tagliabue, give that one to Turner. Again, Boston manhandled off the ball, back to Turner. It's the sky ball. Dale's going to have to go. Oh, good work. The Dreads takes the mark, still inside the centre square, kicks it to the top of the square. Look for Hall at the back. Body work beautiful and a dribbling goal. No! Took the mark, played on top of the square, kicked it behind. Not the way you do it, Josh Hall. Did all the great work. 4-4-28, plays 2 straight 12.
Well, he took the mark in the goal square, so he's going to be put directly in front 10 metres out. So, strange decision from Josh Hall.
Exactly, the Wards half-back, it came off hands and eventually tied up about 55 metres out. Strange decision indeed. The only reason I could think it must have been touched off the boot, off the hand, maybe just before he marked it.
Adrenaline.
That too.
I know what Jason Dunstall would call it.
Yeah, the dribble kick into the post from 10 metres, he wouldn't be happy. So the ball's on the outer side. Swirling breeze now here at Fankhauser Reserve, NEAFL TV, round 21. Michael Price, Riley Starray calling all of your action, and the Encyclopedia of Queensland Footy, Bob Batty, with all of your expert commentary. Second versus fourth. It's been a good, bright start to the game. Uni started out of the blocks well. Southport just clawed it back and have got in front. That ball holds up as well. Once again, Southport are going to repel this. It's coming back via Miller inside 50. Hall at the back. He spoils it forward. What can they do at ground level? Tackling the Sydney Uni players in submission. Ball stuck there, and the umpire says we'll ball it up. Only 20 metres out from the Southport goal.
Certainly right about that, Pricey. Sydney Uni out of the blocks but didn't convert, and paying the price a little here. Back of the game, that's a snap goal from Fields to a one-on-one. Mentha's got the spoil to Boston. Mutu immediately tackled, and he's gone for holding the footy.
Yeah, great tackle.
Well done there from the students, the scramble. Well done from Ed Cole. He's also got one of the students' 2 goals this afternoon. He's running everywhere early. Towards halfback. Bit of a talent, but finds Cordell. And Sydney University reset.
Everything's blocked up in front of them, Bob. Southport really set up nicely.
Yeah, it's just not spinning well, are they, the uni students? They just don't look as though they're in position when they get possession of the footy.
Yeah, Boakey just got tackled off the ball as he was kicking it, and it dribbled down over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in. Yeah, they seem very stagnant. Southport, like chess pieces, really set out there nicely. They're just not using the ball as we saw in that opening 10 minutes, Sydney Uni. So, umpires taking his time to throw this one in. Every player on the paddock in the forward half for Southport too. It's a shallow throw. Tagliabue gets there first. Turner just falls on him. That's the best way I could describe it. Big man fell on him in his 100th. He'll ball it up 70 metres out from the Southport goal.
Certainly did fall on him. Pretty aggressively too. Tagliabue wins at that time. Stewart immediately tackled from Davis. This is similar to the first quarter last week from Sydney University, Bob. We called that game. They're just getting no fluency at the moment, are they?
Yeah, look, good coaching from Southport, though. They've really stagnated them, haven't they? Haven't let them run, haven't let them use the ball. They like to get it and run, haven't been able to do it. So, good start from Southport.
So a little bit of an arm wrestle in the last couple of minutes. The ball stuck in this particular area of the ground. Tagliabue gets it out. Now the Southport Sharks rove it. Comes out to Davis. He shrugs one off and a dribbling pass. Stubbs. He can't control it. It was from Barkley. The umpires called that. He has. Stubbs will get a free kick. 40 metres out, but he's on a very tight angle to the right, as you can see here on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. But Trent Stubbs, good kick of the footy, kick 15 for the year. Just having a look at Tramway Oval. 4.5 minutes gone. Final term. Sydney Swans 77, leading the Brisbane Lions 63. That could be a boil over. It's Trent Stubbs. What can he do here for the Southport Sharks? To get their 50, let's go. That's a beautiful kick of the footy. Beautiful kick of the footy from Trent Stubbs. Southport 5-4-34. The students 2 straight 12, very late in the first quarter.
Yeah, good kick there from Trent Stubbs, of course. He's come up to Southport this year, formerly played for the Sydney Hills East Coast Eagles, of course, been one of their best players they can probably have in their club history down in Sydney. But he's just starting to work his way into form. Of course, last week he didn't play up in the Northern Territory. He was playing for Palm Beach and kicked the Sydney. So he's back into the lineup. Good start for him. And you feel like if Southport are going to have a real tilt to the premiership, he's going to have to play a pretty big role.
Yeah, spot on, Riley. I think he and Mitch Johnson have been up and down a little bit with their form throughout the year, but if they're firing, Southport Sharks forward line together with Hall, it's going to be something to stop.
So back in the middle, give the honest a turn that time. He won it well to his team out there in Boston who couldn't quite get it up the students. Try get it forward through Stevenson off the left. Spoiled immediately there from Murdoch. Falls to shore. Now to Bioti. He's got a quick set of heels and a good kick as well. Finds Mector. The little man, he's been pesky early. He's been out and about. Sends it short. Tries to find Fields. Almost breaks the tackle. It pops out. Not holding the ball. Carroll. Tied up from Bodie. Stevenson. Tied up from two Sharks in Fields and Taylor. And we'll do it all again. But Southport's pressure, it really looks on so far early today. Best they've probably played in a little while for mine.
Yeah, 9 scoring shots to 2 in the first quarter, especially after you've been dominated in the first 10 minutes of that quarter. It's taken out by Veal. It's a high ball to half forward. Just basically floated away there from Tristan Davies and all over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in.
Really negated the influence of Stevenson, haven't they? He's hardly touched the footy in his first quarter, and he's certainly one of the, he and Bartholomeus and Stewart are really their engine, and they've hardly touched it.
Throw in. Oh, jeez, saddle on him. It's Ben Wellos. It was all over. The big man in Jed Turner. Comically, the ball goes over the boundary line. Oh, dear. If that was a marking contest, it would have been described as an unrealistic attempt, methinks. But Jed got in the way, as he does, the big man. Dual premiership player, Jed Turner. He actually grabbed Ben Wellos then, propelled forward by the students once again. Southport via Davies, long kick. Will it bounce backwardly? It does. And Mitch Johnson just waited for his opponent there in Kilpatrick to gather the ball, and then he gathered him. It was really well done. And once Mitch Johnson tackled him, he was never going to let go. Ball over the boundary line. Well, actually, no, not quite over the boundary line, just close to it. We'll get a ball up.
So very late stages of this opening term. Brilliant start here for Southport, as we mentioned a few times. University dominated early, but there's the siren. I think Coach Steve Daniels would be very happy with that start as we're at quarter time. 22-point lead to the Sharks, 5-4-34, 2 straight 12. Fantastic start. We'll just run you through the goal kickers as well. We've got 1 to Jack Menthod, 1 to Stubbs, 1 to Williams, 1 to Hall, and 1 to Mitch Johnson. For the students, it's singles to Goulden and Ed Cole.
Michael Manteet is leading all charges with 10 disposals. So far, Goulden's got 9 and a goal. Andrew Boston for Southport with 8 disposals. Stevenson and Stern and Kwabi Boak with 7 as well. It was a really good quarter of footy. Students started early, and then Southport came back and really crushed them into the ground, more or less. Quarter time, it is the Sharks by 22 points. We'll be back with the second quarter very shortly. This is NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Welcome back to Fankhauser Reserve. It is the home of the Southport Sharks. They are at home to Sydney University for round 21 of NEAFL TV through Bar TV. And at quarter time, it is the Sharkies leading by 22 points, 5-4-34 to 2 straight 12. Michael Price and Riley Starray calling all of your action. Bob Batty, the Encyclopedia of Queensland Footy, with the expert comments. And Bob, Sharks really strangled them from about the 10-minute mark onwards.
Certainly did. Their intensity around the ball, led by Jed Turner in the ruck, really negated Sydney Uni's early dominance.
Sam Somerville's got the ball in the middle. Start the second term. Tagliabue versus Jed Turner playing his 100th NEAFL game. Tagliabue gets it down. Dale intercepts. Boston had a really killing first quarter. He got the ball to right half forward now. Goulden picks it up. Gets a handball away. Barkley turned it over yet again. Southport now looping handball. Dale. Once again, they're just utilising handball to get through to space. Boston inside 50, bounces awkwardly for the defence. It's going to put a lot of pressure on. Picked up by Mentha, hacks it forward. It bounces. What's it going to do? It's going to bounce through. It did. Jack Mentha kicks his second goal. That one out of nowhere. Southport open up proceedings in the second term with a beauty. 6-4-40 plays 2 straight 12.
Well, that's the sort of bounce you get up at Kelky Juniors near Horsham. That's probably what he's used to in his early country days, a bounce of the ball sort of at right angles once it hit the goal square. But good work. Boston again. Dale involved. Their midfield's just dominating against Sydney Uni, and Sydney Uni really have to lift in that centre area. Jed Turner's getting on top. They really need a lift. Goulden's been probably one of their only clear winners so far, and Southport looking ominous.
They certainly are. And unlike Southport's very stoic and assured defence, Sydney Uni look all it sees at the moment. So as it comes in, Tagliabue wins it down that time, trying to help his team. Turner though got it off the shark, then a soccer. Dale comes in to lay the tackle on Hickox, trying to get it away. Williams, he breaks the one-arm tackle, sends it inside the forward 50. Stubbs head front position, goes over the back. Barton couldn't take the mark. Johnson's looming ominously. Robertson hand passed it short, then a hacking sort of a ball in the air. Boston couldn't take it. Well done from Bartholomeus. Cole works his way around. Hand pass to the inside. Immediately tackled. There's Hiscock. From the pack. Turner somehow feeds the hand pass out. Mentha. He's been very busy. Sent forward. Southport should eat this, and they do through Johnson. The Sydney University defence at the moment, it's just like it's losing a lot of composure and structure. This smaller forward line set up as Stubbs and Johnson is causing some havoc, and Mentha rolling through there as well. They could go to a 34-point lead.
Yeah, look, again, I harping on it, but Jed Turner again, they had 2 or 3 chances to get the ball away. Jed Turner got, even though 4 blokes tackled him, he got the ball out back to Mentha. Good work.
So Johnson should kick this. Wheels around as most do in the modern age, and kicks second. Good kick from Mitch Johnson. He's come back into some serious form in the last month, and that's just what Steve Daniels would want. It reads a scoreline of 7-4-46 to 2 straight 12, 3 minutes gone, second quarter.
Just having a look at the score at Tramway Oval. Sydney Swans at the front again. 90 plays 87 against the Brisbane Lions, 14-6 to 13-9. Cracking game of footy at Tramway Oval. Having a look at the other game. Redland starting the second quarter. They are 7 points in front of the Canberra Demons. Scottsdale Park 32 playing 25 right here at Fankhauser. It's the Sharkies putting the pedal down straight away in the second quarter, and they have belted away to 34-point lead. Beautiful day for footy here for round 21 of NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Southport loving it at the minute, playing really structured, good footy. Strongest side they've put on the paddock for several weeks. Jed Turner at ground level. Davis can't quite get it out. Kick forward by Stevenson. Side 50 for the students. What can they do? Picked up there by Stern. He's butted off the ball. Once again, Southport defence working overtime. Great handball. It goes to Foster. What can he do? He kicks a goal. Who was responsible for that handball? That was an absolute belter out of congestion.
Yeah, it was a fantastic handball. I just missed that one as well. Pricey, very well done there from the students. They need that, and of course Foster getting on the ball, that's very important for them as well. He's a bit of a goal sneak, and they just need to keep the scoreboard ticking over, try to stay within a bit of touch here of the Sharks. And of course last time these two sides played here, Sydney University really came from the clouds and snatched it at the end of that game, so they'll hope for something similar today.
Yeah, really badly needed goal. wasn't. It was a beautiful smother there from Tommy Miller, the former Tatura captain, through his body and smothered the ball. But a beautiful handball. I think it might have been Ben Walos. Not sure who it was, but it was a great handball, and Foster finished it off. He is a goal sneak, and they badly needed that one.
So back in the middle, taps it off the hands. It's better from the Stevenson gets the clearance, but it falls straight to Murdoch, who's a left footer, goes across the ground. Good composure shown, finds Manteet, hand past it to a teammate towards the half forward area. Long sort of a ball forward, couldn't take the mark. Barkley couldn't pick it up. Well done from Cordell. Pass inside to Bartholomeus. He'll go 30 metres down the line towards a one-on-one. Comes off hands. Morrison couldn't take it. Southport turned the football over. They've done this very nicely. Boston feeds the hand pass. Turner knows only one way, and that's forward. It's a hand pass as well. Fed further forward from Tate. Now the kick inside the forward 50 was really ill-directed, and the mark has been taken from Rogers. That's one of the rare times this afternoon Southport haven't looked composed going in.
Just miscommunication there. Gee, that could be a free kick to Matt Shaw there for a Shepherd.
Free kick.
It is, and I don't think Eldon's very happy with it, but it looked pretty obvious from what I could see.
Yeah, Luke Robertson just didn't use common sense there. His mate Gordon was going to take the mark anyway, and he took Shaw right out of the contest. And he's within range. This is a tough kick with the breeze, but he is a lovely finisher.
The breeze, the breeze is blowing from the right point post, basically to the left. He aims it right. It curls back. Matt Shaw, like shelling peas. Beautiful stuff. Southport, 8-4-52. The students 3 straight 18. We've played around about 8 minutes of the second term. NEAFL TV through Bar TV.
Yeah, great finish, wasn't it? And silly play there. Like as I said, I think Gordon was going to take that mark irrespective of what Robertson did. But yeah, very silly play and costly because they just kick one to get their hopes up a little bit, but they're being deflated very quickly by this Southport team.
That they certainly have. And of course, we have mentioned a couple of times, this Sydney University, it's quite a young list that they put together in 2019. It's almost like welcome to finals intensity from the Sharks, of course, who are the defending premiers.
Spot on there, Riley. 12 players under 21. So Tommy Morrison's done a good job to gel them together.
So back in the middle, Sydney University just need to get that scoreboard ticking over. A few bodies pissed off it, but the big man in Turner with a raking left foot, sort of a ball inside the forward 50. Well done there from Barkley. You got front position Johnson. And you'll switch the play. Little ambitious, very ambitious, goes over the head of Veal. Fields will get there first for the Sharks. Hand pass to the back to Manteet. Spearing of a ball's a good sort of a ball, and Trent Stubbs just had a bit too much space there on Mitch Rogers and be able to line up from about 35 as there's a whistle. Looks all good.
As we see, is it Kilpatrick coming off it? Whoever it was in the midfield there with Dylan Fife, the clutch of heads, and they both went down, but Sydney Uni players certainly come off for wear.
He's got a lot of claret coming out of the eye there. I'll just keep an eye on when you keep an eye on this kick for goal. Oh no, they've held the play up. It looks like it's underneath the right eye. Looking pretty ordinary too. Well, just having a look at the score at Tramway Oval. Brisbane Lions have hit the front again. 94 play 90, 20 gone in the final term.
Stewart.
It's like Bartley Stewart's gone off. He was the man with the blood.
So Stubbs to send it out. 40 points the margin. Within 8 minutes of the second quarter. On its way the kick. It's a beauty. Very mercurial. Trent Stubbs, that's number 2 for him. And it extends the margin to a point where Sydney University are going to be very uncomfortable. 9-4-58. 3 straight 18. 8.5 going into the second quarter.
Yeah, just no midfield dominance, have they? Like, I know that was a head clash there, but Dylan Fife, after the he keeps going, and the other boy Stewart off the ground, so they can't take a trick at the moment. But yeah, look, they're certainly well on top, South Sharks, and it's looking pretty ominous for the students as we speak.
Yeah, it certainly is, and looking ominous for the Sydney Swans as Brisbane Lions have just gone bang bang, and 101 plays 90 with 23 gone in the final term in that top 4 clash at the Tramway Oval. Here though, Sharkies just 40 points. And as they say in the classics, geez, that escalated quickly. Jed Turner slaps forward. Fife overruns it. Now the students can get enough clearance. It goes inside via... Oh, good mark. Well done there, taken there by Miller. Really read it beautifully. Played on with the handball. Done this well all throughout the game. That a little bit errant, though. It was really well read by Bartholomeus. Double grabber. as we see Turner come off. Josh Hall about to come back on. And once again, there's no movement for him. Bartholomeus just has to pop it up to a dangerous spot. Southport have got it covered with a raft of bodies. Taylor gets tackled off it. Goes towards Miller. He keeps it in. Might have been served to just let it go out. There's a stack of bodies right on the 50 and it goes over the boundary line. We're going to throw in.
That we certainly will. A little bit of desperation stakes for the students. They wouldn't want this to get out any further. We know how important today is for them. It's a week of the finals. You have to get a little bit of a wiggle on. Well done from Tagliabue. Got front position, fed the hand pass. Inside, Davis laid the tackle. Fights the eventual clearance with the inside-out torp towards the contest. Johnson comes over the back with the spoil. Bowie does well to get it on the receive. Goulden lays a strong enough tackle. And it'll be all tied up. One thing about Sydney University I'm noticing, we have barely called Tristan Davies' name at all today.
He's hardly had the ball. I'll just have a quick look at his stats. You keep an eye on the play. I'll look at the stats for you.
So it eventually comes out. Mentha gets it away for the shot. Goes inside. He's playing well this afternoon. Good composed kick to Stubbs. Now there's a one-on-one in the 50 between Johnson and Kilpatrick. That's where he goes. Finds Johnson. Good mark. Sensational mark from the Tasmanian. Wheels around, 50 metres out, sets it inside. It looks like it almost came touched off the boot. Hand pass further back. Mentha shoots a goal for number 3, just to the right. The Sharks are swarming here though at the moment. They're going in for the kill. They can smell blood. 9-5-59 to 3 straight 18 haven't gone into this second quarter.
Tristan Davies has touched the ball twice so far in this game, 1.5 quarters into it. That is a booming kick there by Stevenson, just short of the centre circle. That'll get things going. Handball goes over the top to Skrivenic. He wheels around right foot, beautifully measured kick, and finds his teammate in Will Sirakowski 45 metres out. Go back, Will, and just sink it through. The students desperately need this one.
You mentioned Stevenson there. He was the architect of their second quarter dominance against Redland last week with his prodigious kicking, and you saw that from full back with that beautiful kick that hit the centre of the ground.
That's a ripper, wasn't it? So Will Sirakowski, kick 9 for the year. Left foot from 50. Beautifully struck, Will Sirakowski. Sydney Uni get their 4th. So 9-5-59 plays, 4 straight 24. Back to 35 points the margin. Southport lead it halfway through the second.
Yeah, need to get a run on now though, don't they? That was just the as I mentioned, the kick from Stevenson that set that up, and they quickly got Southport found out of position. That's the first time that the defence has been out of position, and that's what they've obviously got to do, Sydney Uni, if they want to get back in this game. Get it, move it quickly, be worried about what's put behind them as a sort of a defensive ploy from Southport. Go long and get over the back.
Stevenson now up there with 10 disposals, with Goulden with 11 for Southport. It's Manteet with 13, Boston with 12, and very quickly just having a look at the other game, the Brisbane Lions now 108, Sydney 90. It's almost over.
Davis, 65 metres out, sets it inside the forward 50. It's cut off by a student, but immediately mobbed too, one of them being Mentha. Umpire Sam Somerville ties it up. Of course, Sydney University, they really do need to get a run. They just can't let the Sharks get these quick replies. Keep that margin where it is right now. Ben Wallace did well to tap it down. Bartholomeus immediately lays the tackle. We'll do it all again. Pretty much every play is within about 60 metres of this ball. So if Sydney Uni can get it over the back, we know how much leg speed they've got. Turner taps it down. Kilpatrick gets the clearance towards half back. Oh, that's a fly over the back there from Miller. He read that beautifully off the boot and was first there. He's about 75 metres out. Goes into Clark towards the forward 50. Johnson couldn't get the spoil. And well done there from the students to cut that off. And they'll be able to get it from half back through Kilpatrick.
Really good mark, Kilpatrick. Geez, that ball held up in the breeze. Shaw got the front position. Tapped it back down. Now it's coming back for Southport. Willis it was. Got the handball away. Shaw, he's got his kick half smothered. Fife interjects and puts the burners on. Now back to Shaw. Gets the right foot inside 50. Big fly. Students all the numbers, but they spoiled each other. Could end up in a little bit of hurt there. Charlie Ford lays a tackle. Now coming out, Ben Wellos gets his toe to the ball. Boston with the fight. Guts effort from Andrew Boston. Ball spills. Students with the ball. Good tackle from Davis. Dislodges it. Comes away from Skrivenic. Now Southport with the ball again. Turner. Back to Miller. Back to Boston. He's having a cracking game, El Mucho. On the right shoe, how about that for a pass? Great spoil coming from Rogers. And the students will get out from half back.
Almost say they get out, but it goes straight to El Mucho. Feeds the hand pass back off the hands from Murdoch. They're just going around with him at the moment. Willis goes short, couldn't find the target. Now this is the chance. Crockmale to Cole, wheels around, back inside to Bartholomeus, inside the forward 50. But again, no composure going forward with the kick. And Josh Stern quite rightly gives his teammate a bake. It's turned over. They can go through half back. Boakey takes a bounce, takes a secondary bounce, runs his full measure down the line. 30 metres sort of a kick. Mutu, well, he paused for a second. And it's going to be turned over to Kilpatrick. So at least the students have stopped the bleeding here a little bit. They've got to get some scoreboard pressure.
Yeah, they certainly have. Here's Stevenson again, unleashing that strong right shoe. It's a 3-on-1, but it was a really good contest there. Good stuff. We haven't called his name much. That's Davies with his third touch. Now burning the ground. Hiscox. Can he get? He does. Picks it up and bangs another one through for the students. You mentioned Tristan Davies. He got involved in a 3-on-1 then, and he caused that goal. Well done. Hiscox gets his first.
Yeah, need a lift from Hiscox. And as you said, it was a great effort there from Tristan Davies, the boy from Williamstown. He's kicked a lot of goals from this year, but that was an important one that he had a hand in to set up Hiscox for his first of the day. But just their entries to the forward line, notice Bartholomeus, he just blazed away, could have handballed it over to Gould, who would have had about probably 15-20 metres of space to kick to a position where it would have put Southport under pressure, and Bartholomeus just blazed away and it came back. But luckily enough, they got a goal anyway at the end of it. So good work to the uni students.
Very late in the final quarter at Tramway Oval, and Brisbane Lions 17-13, 115, are leading Sydney 90. Lions have kicked 8 goals 4 to Sydney's 4 goals 1 in the final term.
Tagliabue hands it back to Will Sirakoski inside forward 50. I reckon that's travelled 70 metres off the top. That's going to bounce over the back. Stern's there a bounce. It just goes through for a behind. So Sydney Uni getting the scoreboard ticking over. And you mentioned the Brisbane Lions. That will seal the first undefeated season in the history of the NEAFL in the home and away sector. Fantastic effort from them.
Yeah, they've had an amazing season. If you've seen the Brisbane Lions run around in the NEAFL this year, you've been watching a premium footy team as well. Southport now get it back to Willis. Willis looking for Hall. Ball's going to drop short. Mark there taken by Mitch Rogers. He plays on, chips it forward. Now they're getting a bit of a roll on. Hiscox, beautiful pass from Hiscox. Just dropped it into the path, and Stern's going to have a crack at it from around about 35 metres out. You could pull it directly in front.
Yeah, no, good work from the students. So that was their first instinct, wasn't it? They just got it on the boot. Didn't matter how good it looked. Just kick it to a hot spot, and Stern did well to get his body in front. Hall then should have gone a bit harder against Carroll in the marking contest. That's what caused this one.
So Josh Stern leans back, makes no mistake. They're very accurate in front of goal. The students, don't worry about that. 6-1-37, plays Southport 9-5-59. So it's back to a 22-point margin. That's a little bit more comfortable moving forward for Sydney Uni.
Yeah, certainly is. Well, it was 22 points at quarter time, so they've answered the goals. They've certainly looking at a much better combination, don't they, in the second quarter? They've kicked 4 goals each, but certainly more, I suppose, game on as we're looking at this contest as we speak. They need Sirakoski, they need Bartholomeus, and a couple of more to Morrison's, another one being very quiet. They need them to lift.
So Sydney Uni suddenly got 3 goals in a row. A little bit of momentum in this one. Is back in the middle. Turner wins it down that time. Boston was pushed off by his opponent, Sirakoski, but no free kick paid. Doesn't matter because Davis gets it out. Feeds it towards Shaw. Well done from Bartholomeus to step inside. Give the hand pass to the big man. Immediately tackled by the Mexican wrestler. Going in hard is Bowie. He's mobbed. Along the back will be tied up. But it's been a good little match here for Sydney University. Work themselves back into the game. Give themselves something manageable. They just wouldn't want to blow out again before half-time. Get a little bit closer as it's fed back off hands. Goulden, being one of the students' best all afternoon, sends it forward. Good spoil at the back there from the Sharks. It goes towards Shaw, who feeds it off to Fife. Now find Dale, feeds it further over the top. Well done here. Field sets it up. 2-on-2 contest coming up. Students should favour it, and that's a fantastic mark taken. Looks like it's from Rogers. Goes inside. finds Foster just. Good work there from Sydney University.
Just behind the play, Reece Clark in that last contest is in a lot of trouble, and the physio with him as the students move through the corridor. Morrison, long one, top of the square, at the back, juggling Davies. We called him, disappeared early, and he's just going to go bang bang and get involved and bring Sydney Uni back into it.
Oh, you tipped it, I suppose, a minute earlier, Michael, where you said that Reece Clark's down behind the play. Well, it's his opponent as Davies goes bang and puts through, as you said, Riley, that's their fourth in a row. And good work there by the students. But, yeah, he's coming off now. It looks like he's dropped a real stinger on that left shoulder, and he's really struggling. But he's been a key defender for them. So that might release Davies. That's his first goal for the day, but he was involved in an earlier goal with Hiscox.
Absolutely. And just having a look at the other games going around. Wow, boy, oh boy, the Brisbane Lions 127, Sydney 90. The Lions have now scored 10 goals 4 to 4 goals 1 in the final quarter. Sydney led at three-quarter time. Unbelievable.
Fair sort of a tune-up.
Ooh, the Brisbane Lions.
Oh, they're going to be hard to beat come the final series, no doubt.
Back into the middle now. Taglia versus Hall, the 222s. Hall goes back in. Beautiful ground level work from the big man. Wobbling mongrel. And there is the virtue of playing in front. It's Fields. He was just in front. And forward play, Bob. When it's a wobbling mongrel and you're in front.
Doesn't matter how it gets in there, just get it in there quickly. And that's obviously what big Josh Hall did. And well done. He got the ball from the ruck contest, and when it hit the ground, he toe poked it forward. And this can kick a football, Tom Fields.
Let's see what he can do. About 35 metres out directly in front. Can answer those quick goals from Sydney Uni. The left foot, delightful. Mitch Johnson claps it through. And Southport get the answer. 10-5, 65, 7-1, 43. Back to 22 points.
It certainly is. And well done there from Southport. You know when they're playing at the best, when they're able to get their ruckman involved in those centre clearances. Of course, we see the likes of Jed Turner in there. He's one of the more athletic ruckmen in the NEAFL, same as Josh Hall. He's known for his athleticism. And well done from Tom Fields, as you said. Just got front position, great forward craft. And he just sends that margin back out a little. They needed that one, the Sharks. They conceded 4 in a row. So just to steady themselves a little bit. Really high-quality game. It's really opened up in this second quarter. It's really entertaining to watch.
I love this matchup on the wing just in front of us here. The two number 3s, Adam Goulden versus Matt Shaw. Absolutely brilliant.
So back in the middle. Hall wins it decisively over the top. Well done from Morrison. He broke the tackle beautifully then. Hand pass towards Stevenson. Sends it towards the forward 50. That's carried quite a bit off the snap. Good spoil at the back. Oh, big contest. And a beautiful hit there from Taylor. Forced the spill. It'll be tight about 45 metres out, but it was fantastic attack from both players there. Well done from Taylor.
Good call, Riley. Just stopped short. Tagliabue got the tap down. Short. Looping handball to Boston. Got away. Just got a looping, nice little right foot sideways kick. He hit Moot just off the side of the boot. I reckon he meant that. He is a genius on his boot. Comes out now via Murdoch in the path of Johnson. Front position. Nicely spoiled there from Kilpatrick. Towed forward by Fields. Here's a race on. Now we get back there. Barton under pressure. The left foot. Overcooked the kick. And it's there with Mackenzie Willis. Chips it forward and finds the little bloke in through again in the pocket. Certainly does. It was just that. You can't blame, I suppose, the idea of the kick, Bob. The idea of the kick, it's aggressive. They need to take the game on, but gee whiz, if you don't get it right, you're buggered.
Yeah, look, he's had a poor game so far. Tim Barton hardly been cited. Was a great defender last week. The veteran, the ex-captain, but yeah, that's a kick you'd like back again because Mackenzie Willis chopped it off and found a little dynamo. Anthony's been good today. Very good.
Going for 3 goals here. Starts it right, and it doesn't come back enough. So 2 goals, 2 for Jack Mentha. And Southport, 23-point margin. And we've played about 24 of the second term on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Michael Price and Riley Starray calling all of your action. Bob Batty with the special comments.
Well, Stevenson just hoiks it down the middle like he's done a couple of times this year, but it's immediately turned over. Southport were aware to that, and Hall will send it right back from whence it came towards the contest. Good ball at the back from Stevenson towards a really pocket of space. Bartholomeus couldn't get it off the track. That's a shot at goal from Fife. It's in the air. Johnson sitting under it. Almost takes a fantastic mark. Spoiled towards the boundary. And it'll trickle out of play right on the paint. So about 50 metres out. Southport looming again as this wind really picks up.
It's blowing straight at us now from the scoreboard, straight across the field almost.
It's quite refreshing, must be said. It's back at the game. Goes over the back haul, just gets it. Well done, Williams. Oh, that was brilliant! 30 metres out towards the goal! Oh, what a goal from Josh Williams! He sold the dummy beautifully, and that would have made Matt Giddo and Steve Larkham very proud. That's number 2 for him. And Southport have just sent it back out to the 5-goal margin, or thereabouts. 11-6-72 to 7-1-43. Saturday afternoon football live from Fankhauser Reserve. Bob Batty.
Oh, wasn't it exciting, Riley? You summed it up beautifully there with the call. He sold the dummy and then a beautiful kick on the run. Great skills from the speedster from North Queensland. He came down as a country recruit through the Suns Academy. Had a really good under-18 carnival, and North Melbourne drafted him. Had 2 years on the list, didn't quite get a go, but good to see him really having a good season here for the Southport Sharks.
All over at Tramway Oval, the Brisbane Lions by 37 points. They kicked 10 goals to 4 in the final quarter. Dominant display and have finished undefeated. Exploding onto the ball there was Morrison. Chips it inside. Oh, good defensive effort from Miller. And it taps it down now. Southport under enormous pressure. Willis, can he get to the ball? Miller laid the shepherd, but it wasn't that effective because the ball ended up just propelling a couple of metres forward. Great handball there from Murdoch. Now they're using it by hand nicely. Fife to Boston. Boston curls a little pass around. It was good spoiling effort there, and the students will take the ball over the boundary line on the outside. Really, you've described it earlier, Riley. The game's opening up just a little bit. It's not quite as tight in that arm wrestle as we had earlier.
Certainly has. So back at the contest, give the honours to Tagliabue. Just got front position. Dale was thrown off it there by Sierakowski. Got the hand pass to Goulden, and here's the runner, Sydney Uni. He sends a torpedo. Interesting decision, but Davies could get there first for the students. If he gets the bounce, keeps it in front of himself, and then ties it up. And I think he's done that pretty intelligently in the end, because the Sharks were storming on the outer reaches of that contest. And instead it'll be a stoppage about 65 metres out from the students attacking goal.
Obviously, Reece Clark's shoulder okay, Bob?
Yeah, look, but courage shown there by the coach to throw young Tom Miller back there on the big boy Davies. So he's had a good game too, Miller.
There's Boston yet again. Typically long kick towards half forward. It bounces over the top of everybody. Really good stuff there from Carroll, who got the ball away. He's going to get it back though. And under a lot of pressure was Robertson. Scrubbed forward and of course turned over. This is where Southport with all the numbers are getting it. Fife inside 50. It's going to favour yet again Carroll, but he can't take the mark. Pass in board, Johnson, and that was just turnover central. Mitch Johnson was the beneficiary, and you can see Luke Robertson going back to remonstrate as he gets a mouthful from the Southport players, but it's all okay to remonstrate, but there's a goal on the board because the job wasn't done, basically. So the students are undoing their good work here, 72 plays 43.
Yeah, just a little observation there. Michael Manteep was the player that actually was remonstrating with him. Ex-teammate, obviously.
Of course,
of Robertson, but he actually should have taken that mark, and that was one that he should have just held strong and taken a good overhead mark. But Manteet crowded it beautifully. And what about the kick to Johnson for his third? Was brilliant. And Manteet's really got a nice vein of form coming into the finals. He's a key player for him.
Isn't it crucial for them too, those players coming back?
Certainly is. Turner, Fife, ridden off it by Bartholomeus, got half a handball away. Stevenson tied up from Dale, tries to break the tackle. Should be holding the footy, and it is, because he tried to take him on. So all of that good work from Sydney University in that 10-minute patch, it's really coming undone here. And Dylan Fife, diminutive in stature, but growing his reputation by the second, sends it inside 50, no mark taken. Cordell immediately tackled from short. And it's going to be a throw, ball up about 20 metres out.
The Cabana Bar absolutely love that tackle. There's a 20-kilo differential between Fife and Stevenson, 91 versus 70, so the punters love it.
Tagliabue wins it down Boston, Mutu on the left, and that was always staying to the left. So Sydney University, if you've just joined us, played much better in this second quarter, but they're sort of living and dying by the sword a bit. Got a couple of goals from a half-back bounce, but they've also conceded a couple going away from turnovers.
Well, Southport to kick 7. We say that that's probably the non-scoring end, but to kick 7 in a quarter into a slight breeze, it just shows you the form Southport is showing today.
Oh, beautifully roved by Mutu. Got the handball over the top. Clark just sizzles one along, and it's taken over the boundary line. Having a look at the stats, Andrew Boston is on fire. 17 disposals. Mantee has 15. If you have a look for the student, Stevenson's got 14. Goulden with 13. Veal with 12. So, yeah, they're dominating that midfield area. And I'd say Will Sierakowski on Boston at the moment needs to tighten up just a tad. Turner gets down to Dale. Towed forward now. Meeting it. Fields did well to actually get the ball and get it out there. Now it's stuck underneath 50. Going to have another ball up right on 50.
We got the stats with tackles. I'd just love to see the number of missed tackles that Sydney Uni have had. They've I don't know whether we've got that stat, but certainly
27-17 is the tackle stats, and Southport leading that stat.
It says a lot out there intensity around the ball. And the way they've approached today. It's been a very polished performance from Southport. Not necessarily the highest scoring side in the league. As sat during the week, they're only 7th in goals this year, but they're turning on this afternoon. Crockmale immediately tackled. I mentioned that tackling intensity. Well, it's on show again there from Jordan Taylor. So you feel like this one's going to be a really long quarter. 7 goals to 5. There's a bit to play out yet. Turner punched it forward. Sierakowski fed the hand pass, turned over. Dale, like a thief in the night, sets it towards goal. That's an inside-out torp towards the square. No one really approached it in the end. Sydney University have taken the mark defensively through Rogers.
Yeah, it was a great mark, actually. It was a wobbling ball for a defender. It's a nightmare. Finger breaker, but he did well. At the back, Boston, he got it. Went for the high tackle for the umpire's benefit for the Bartholomeus. Yeah, bet $1 each way. He got one for in the back. Oh, pass, Andrew Boston. 35 metres of silken skill from Andrew Boston with his 19th disposal as he comes to the bench. Dylan Mutu takes the mark, 45 out directly in front. He's leading from the front, the co-captain.
Yeah, no, been fantastic today, hasn't he? Been the most consistent player on the ground, and beautiful disposal, as you said.
Dylan Mutu, Surface Paradise ball, kicked a couple of goals for the year. He'll have to let go from on 50, does so. Doesn't quite have the shoe. Big pack of players. Rode there. It was Morrison. Got through traffic. Bartholomeus and Sydney should be able to get out here. Oh, it's an outnumber, Riley.
It is an outnumber. It favours the Sharks, but the bounce really was good for Uni because it at least let them in, but well done from Willis to Davis. Tumbling saw the ball towards their forward 50 Kilpatrick on the second bounce. Barton says, get it out of my way. I don't want any business with it. He tapped it to a teammate and it's tied up. But Southport, they're just closing in once again here, Pricey.
Like, that's a ripping tackle too from Fields. He couldn't do anything, Cordell, there. He was absolutely wrapped, cling wrap style.
Turner tried to find Dale. Mutu's immediately tackled. Umpire says, give it to me once again.
They're putting it seems to me that Southport are using their physicality here, Bob.
Yeah, look, they are a much more mature bodied team than the Uni, but they're really showing it today, aren't they?
Davies played on. There's a whistle off play. His opposite number in Bartholomeus will get the free kick. Davies stands the mark. So Bartholomeus play on. He's got Morrison out here, right half back. He wanted to play on, but it's those little things. There were the 1%ers. Boakey put enough pressure on him just to hold it up for a second or two. He had to come back inboard. Gives it out to Cole. Good running there. Well done to Morrison. Gives it back to Hiscox. Hiscox has a bounce and lets go from 55. Jack Hiscox has kicked another one for Uni. Great ball movement. His second. Some exquisite football being played here at Fankhauser Reserve, the home of the Sharkies. Sharks still lead this one by 29 points. 78 plays 49. Sorry. Yeah, 78 plays 49. Scoreboard just slow.
Yeah, he has a propensity to do that. Does Hiscox just breaking away. It was a silky kick as well. I think he took on the responsibility because Tristan Davies got about 5 metres of space on the lead, but he saw the open square, let fly, and that wind. He just judged it very nicely, and that's a little bit of momentum back for the students before half-time. It's one they certainly needed. 5 goals is manageable.
Yeah, just like to wrap up Harry Morrison there. He was the one that gave the run and carry. He's gone into the midfield with Stewart getting injured.
Speaking of Morrison, just got the clearance, sets it up, and they might have had one last chance, but the siren beat him. Very entertaining game of football here, lads. It's 12 goals to 8 at half-time. 29-point margin, 12-6-78. Over Southport to 8-1-49.
Yeah, it was 22 points at quarter time that Southport led, and 29 points. And Southport went out of the blocks again, kicked the first couple of goals. They were answered by Uni. They kicked another couple. Then Uni went bang, bang, kicked 4 straight, and then another couple for Southport to finish off it. That one by Hiscox was vital, though, just to get it to that 30-point margin at the end. But at half-time, it is the Southport Sharks by 29 points with this NEAFL TV round 21. Just having a look. Disposals. Boston's on 19. Manteet with 15. Bartholomeus on 14 with Stevenson. Golden on 13. Ryan Davis is creeping up there with 12 as well for the Sharkies.
Yeah, we'll just run you through the goal kickers as well. Firstly for Southport, 3 goals to Mitch Johnson. He's found some really good form. And then 2 goals each to Mentha, Stubbs and Williams, while singles to Hall, Fields and Matt Shaw. Whilst for the students, 2 to Jake Hiscox, and then it's all singles the rest of the day. Goulden, Foster, Stern, Davies, Sirakoski and Bob Batty.
Yeah, look, good half from Southport Sharks, isn't it? They've had winners all over the ground. Boston, Manteet, Shaw, Davis has been good. Turner's been good. Mitch Johnson up forward. Jack Mentha around the ground. And for Sydney Uni, they've been few and far between. I thought Carroll's been good back down defence. Adam Goulden's been okay. Certainly Lewis Stevenson was better that quarter, but look, they're few and far between. A very good team effort from Southport Sharks. The coach would be happy with the way they started the game. It's not over.
Oh, it's not over yet. Every time you think Southport are going to jump away with it, Sydney Uni come back. We'll be back with the second half very shortly. This is NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Welcome back to Fankhauser Reserve, the home of the Southport Sharks, and they are at home to Sydney Uni for round 21 of NEAFL TV. Second versus fourth on the NEAFL ladder. At half-time, the Sharks by 29 points after they led by 22 at quarter-time. 12-6-78 plays 8-1-49, and we are streaming on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Michael Price and Riley Starray calling your action with Bob Batty special comments. Bob, just quickly, really good first half from Southport. They look strong.
Do, yeah, 18 shots at goal to 9. They've doubled their scoring shots. They looking good.
Riley Starray to get the second half underway.
So it comes towards the wing position. Well done from Morrison. Fed it towards Stevenson. Goes towards half forward. Not quite getting on the bounce there was Cole. Cleared immediately from Clark towards the wing position. Bounces on a point. Mutu tries to get it. Goulden. Looks like he's moved on the wing to start this second half. Hand pass away, goes towards half forward, eventually cleared from Tape, and then he'll go right back towards the wing. It's held up in the breeze. It's just staying in the field of play, and Southport have taken the mark through Stubbs. So Stubbs towards half forward. Tagliabue just gets in the hole, couldn't quite take the mark, but had enough time. Stevenson goes inboard. Fire, well, almost found field, but he's turned it over. Williams, this is elementary for him, you'd think. Yes, it is. Sydney University, they live and die by the sword, and that's Williams' third goal of the day. Awful start to the second half for the students. It brings it back up to 35 points, 13-6, 8-4 to 8-1-49.
Yeah, that's a start, isn't it, Bob? That's probably not exactly what they wanted.
No, certainly not what they wanted. And, Southport showing their dominance, and good effort from Williams. He's playing on this wing, like to have Shaw on one wing and Williams on the other. It's a nice little attacking forward to centre, isn't it, when you've got two players of that quality playing as outside midfielders.
And once again, Southport starting the quarter really strongly. They've been doing that. Well, they love it here at their home ground. They love to explode out of the blocks straight after the siren. So they've done it again. And it is 35 points. Once again, Jed Turner gets the ball down. Boston at ground level. Once again, he's fighting Sierakowski on top of him. Students get the ball through Morrison. To Turner. Good tackle again from Sierakowski. Ball stuck in the middle. Really hard contest. Bit of an arm wrestle to start. And we'll have another ball up just forward to the centre circles. Inside 50s will plus into Southport in there. So their efficiency far outstripping the students. Handball goes astray. Cole tackled off it. Dale picks it now. Just outside of the right shirt. Don't know whether he meant that. Mitch Johnson trapped it with his foot. Handball off to Mentha. Handball off to Boston from 50. El Mucho, what's he done? It floats across the face of goal. One behind. 13-7-85. Plays 8-1-49. 36 points the margin.
Dangerous time here for the students. Goulden goes short to Veal. Want to get a bit more involved in this second half. Would Veal. Sends it towards halfback. Ruckman, good sport at the back from Turner. It's turned over immediately. Well, almost trying to get out of there was Murdoch. Couldn't quite. Boki, good slick hands. And then, well, that's a falcon off the boot of Davis, but he did well to shake the tackle. This is a chance. Krockmar, he's got an option over the top, but there's absolutely no one ahead here for Sierakowski. So he's just going to have to wait and think about it. Sends it towards Stern. It favours him on the bounce, but again, there's nothing really ahead, so he's just going to go the Hail Mary. Well, didn't really have any other option that time. Clark fed further forward. Boki off the left, and just too much composure here from Southport. Murdoch's taken the mark.
Yeah, could have done a little bit of there, but Murdoch now comes across. Taylor. Now Williams. Just steady and holding the ball up now, Southport. They're 6 goals in front. Early in the third quarter, Williams plays on. That's an ordinary kick, but it bounces nicely for Dale. Handball back to Boston. Chipping effort. Bowie. He wants to play on. Oh, bites off a dangerous kick, and of course it's been turned over. It was a free kick and or mark. He'll go to Goulden against Kwabi Boki there. He's still inside the centre square. And Goulden, he's had a good game. That's a beautiful kick to Morrison. Lace out. Found a bit of space. Did Harry Morrison. And Adam Goulden hit him on the chair. He'll have a shot from 40 out.
They've been their best player today, Goulden. He's certainly showed his experience, former South Adelaide experienced defender. He's played in the midfield today and really given him something when he's linked up, kicking forward.
He's already kicked the goal today as well. Let's go from 45. It's across the face, off hands and out of bounds. Didn't trouble the scorers at all. So still 36 points to the margin. Sharks lead this one. Sydney Uni in attack. A bit of argy-bargy going on between Boston and opponent and Foster down there.
The throwing about to come in. A lot of players around this ball, so it's going to be hard for the students to extract. Tagliabue tried to push the turn up. Couldn't quite, eventually cleared away there from Miller towards space. Mutu should get there first for the Sharks. He's up against Kilpatrick. He does, taps it further forward. Well done from Kilpatrick. That was sensational to ride his opponent off the ball. Goulden goes short, tries to find Bartholomeus. Does find Bartholomeus. Good work there from the students because they got onto that Southport. They were away to the races. Cole at 60 metres out from goal. Goes back. Bartholomeus inside the forward 50. Good kick to Foster. And Foster... he's had 4 bites of the cherry. It looked like a little bit of a juggle, but this should be a goal here for the 40 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, been handy, hasn't he, Nick Foster? He's certainly a goal kicker. You give him a real good chance. They need this one. It's his 5th season at the Students, and he's certainly one of their more experienced players. We mentioned they've got 12 players under 21.
Already kicked 1 goal today. Nick Foster sets it on its way. The umpire moves very late, but not very much at all. Good kick there from Nick Foster. That's number 2 for him. Goal number 18 for the season. Brings it back to a 5-goal margin. 13-7 to 9-1. 6 minutes going into this third quarter.
And good answer from the Students again. Southport with the first goal of the quarter, and the Students have answered. So still around that 5-goal mark. It's that teasing effort. Southport can't break past that. But the Students can't crunch it back down to a couple of goals. But
yeah, look, they're hanging in there, aren't they? That's one thing that I'm sure Tom Morrison would be happy once he looks back at this game, that they're hanging in the contest. But they just haven't quite got enough in that midfield area to really worry the Southport Sharks at present. But they're working hard. Morrison hanging in there has given them a bit of a lift. Boston
with 21 disposals. Goulden with 17 now. Ball spills, towed off the deck by Tagliabue, but it rebounds straight into the arms of Davis, who tries to pass the ball to Stubbs. Spoiling effort. Mentha at the front, toes it now. Got a bit of toe himself. Gives it to Mutu. The 2 smaller players waxing between themselves, but good defensive effort there came from Robertson. Dislodges the ball. It stacks on very close to the boundary line. Good handball comes out from Veal. But once again, the pressure is right on. There's bodies everywhere over here, and there's going to be a ball up. Just that little bit of pace that Mentha and Mutu bring. Well done by Tagliabue. Took it out of the ruck, but then got tackled and dislodged. The umpire said it was thrown to the ground afterwards. Will he get a free kick? Just waiting for the umpire to signal which way the free kick's going to go as Fife gets up with the ball. Now, Tagliabue, it was his free kick. We're just making sure.
So the big man inboard to Robertson. He has Hitchcock's very short, but wisely, I think, doesn't go there, so instead goes wide to Veal. But again, there's no movement forward of the ball here from the Students. Just lacking a little bit of run here at the moment. So it's just going to be set towards the wing for a contest. No mark at the back there from Miller. Turnaway's the big tackle there on Crockmull. Southport, as they so often do, just tie the ball up, go towards the next stop. Right on the true wing position. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching. Game, entertaining game of football. Tagliabue wins it down on that occasion. Fife works his way around it very nicely. Davis sends it forward towards the boundary line. It's just carried. Barton's consent to set it over. And we'll have a throw in about 30 metres out from Southport's attacking goal.
Just Rolls Royce, isn't he, Ryan Davis, for Steve Daniel, the coach. Whenever they're in need of something, he's certainly the man they go to, and he can play in any position, in any part of the ground. He's just a quality player.
So the throw in. Let's see what they do, the big fellas. The 222s, Hall versus Tagliabue, comes off Hall's hands. It's hacked out of there by Veal. Could be coming back, goes past Turner. Miller can't control it. Students will get away. Stern now. Looping handball over the top. It's coming back from Davies. It's going to go through to Bartholomeus. He's confronted there by Miller. Just tries to bite off too much there. It's going to be a turnover. And another turnover. And another turnover. So it's 3 in a row. There's the hat-trick. Davis is in the middle now. A bit of clean possession coming up. 50-metre kick in the Johnson direction. Gets rid of his opponent. There's Mitch Johnson at the back there. Oh, well done, Stevenson. just under a lot of pressure, just calmly ran it through Luke Hodge style. 2008 grand final, Bob, was it? The 23 odd lines Geelong had, and Hodge rushed about 10 of them.
Yeah, Hodgie was good at that one, he still is.
And of course the rule change too is back towards half-back. The kick from Veal, spoil over the back from Turner. Well, it's going to favour Southport. Shaw, 49 metres out, sets it on its way. Johnson at the back. Oh, good spoil over from Kilpatrick. So another behind to the Sharks. It extends the margin to 32, 13, 987 and 9, 155. Sharks just missed one or two opportunities here.
So the ball about to come back in for the students. They need to really get something happening here. Veal takes off. It's going to be a long kick to the outer side. Once again, Davis just reads it beautifully off the boot and sags off, takes the mark. Looks for a target inside 50. It's Josh Hall. Geez, you'd love to be leading to Ryan Davis, wouldn't you?
As I mentioned, Rolls Royce. They just roll them out of the garage when you need them, and that was just beautiful work. Right at the back of the pack, great mark, beautiful kick, and let's see if Josh Hall can go back and slot this one.
So he's kicked the one goal. He's kicked 28-17 for the year, Josh Hall. Great athlete, as we keep saying, multi-sport. Comes in. Let's go from 45. Straight through the middle. It's what the Sharks wanted. He gets his second. 14-9-93. The students 9-1-55. It's now a 38-point margin.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard work for the students here. Good work from Southport. Again, they're just really using this breeze very well when going towards the rider's screen. And you mentioned a few times, Bob, Ryan Davis, that Rolls-Royce, just beautiful ball movement and beautiful use of the football from him off his right shoe. And he's been magnificent whenever he's got it today.
Yeah, no, just a quality player, isn't he? Look, he probably, when you look at it, Boston's probably been their best he and Manteep, but he's not far behind him. As soon as he gets it, Southport are usually impacting the scoreboard.
So back in the middle, back to 38 points the margin. Turner wins it down over the back, bounced away from Banuelos. It's eventually kicked in though from him, inside the forward 50, Davies. Well, he flew very early. Instead went to Boki, but he hand passed it straight to a teammate there in Hiscox. It's in the square. It's a great mark which has been taken defensively there from Miller. Run his full measure towards half-back. Dale the target. Good body work. Great body work from Lee Dale. The dreadlock man, he's taken it very nicely.
So Southport coming out now. Down the wing. Johnson, good defensive. Takes the ball away from him. It's Bowie. Could have been taken high. Kept going. Handball to Charlie Ford. He's tackled into the ground. Ball stuck underneath. Umpire circling. Could be gone here. No. And the ball up has happened. It's just been a number change. Bailey Stewart, who was wearing number 5, came off, obviously, with that blood rule a little bit earlier. Must have got a bit of blood on the jumper. He has now re-emerged wearing number 38 as the ball comes over the boundary line in front of the interchange gates. Southport leading this one, 38 points. They've just held the students to around about a 5-goal margin since they got in front, Bob.
Yeah, just really haven't relinquished that lead, have they? They've had all the answers so far. Let's see what the students can throw at them here.
Yeah, that's a good tap down. It came from Ben Wellis, but it basically shunted into the hands of Southport player. There's Crockmore. Ball stuck underneath several again. We're going to have another ball up. And let's see. Now it looks like it's number 34 for Bailey Stewart. There you go. That's why I was getting confused. Ben Wellos picks it up. Handball now to Stevenson. Sky ball. Matt Shaw underneath it. Read it well. Couldn't quite take it. Now it's picked up there by Murdoch. Once again, Southport defence. Boston, belted once, twice as he got rid of that ball, and it bounces across the boundary line. We'll have another throw in. He might get up a little slowly here, El Mucho. He sort of a little bit of whiplash there, Bob, in between two big bodies.
Yeah, look, I think it was a bit of bad luck there. I think he just ran into Stevenson's shoulder, so I don't think there was anything malicious in that at all.
Back at the contest. Turner front position, punched it straight to Morrison. He's got a little bit of time and space, but just gets it away from Moo to Banuelos. Leads it back to Bartholomeus towards the wing position. Davies, he's been pushed off it out of the contest from Tate well, and Mackenzie Willis can bring it inboard. Find Shaw. Now Shaw, he's got Miller running laterally, but Instead decides to hold it up and go further afield to Johnson. Good lead, good mark. The University have flooded defensively, but Fields has got a little bit of space at the back. 2-on-2 contest, big fly, no mark taken. Fields forced the contest. Mentha did as well. Falls to the bottom of the pack. Bowie comes in hard. Does very well, but it went straight to Bartholomeus, then to Stevenson. Stevenson was going to find Hiscox, and Hiscox has Stern over the top, and now they can go the students. He'll take a run. He's got grass ahead of him. Takes a bounce on the outer wing. They're gaining on him at the back. Of course, he's Johnson Bowie. Good work from Stern. Finds his teammate there in Scrivenich. 65 metres out. Now we'll have to look. Davis presents short. That's where he goes. He's got to find him perfectly. Goes over the back. Well done from Bokic. And a good kick as well short. Well done from the Sharks. Scramble.
Geez, I reckon they blew a golden chance there. Boston gets yet another possession at centre half back. Brings it across now to Mentha. A nice long kick from Mentha. Puts it out into the bouncing path of Stubbs. What can he do? Can't quite pick it up. He's hassled off the ball. And that could have been a very dangerous situation for Sydney Uni. They're going to come out of this nicely. Stevenson's going to get the ball. Tried to get the handball back. Was under a lot of pressure. Fields put his head down, burrowed through Golden, and then kicked it forward. Golden. He was the one. So we've actually have two jumper changes now. So Monty Crockmell is in 34 and Bailey Stewart is in 38. Both of them wearing the the elastoplast and the bonds. So there you go. A couple of jumper changes here on NEAFL TV. If you're getting confused, don't worry. So are we.
Carroll, well, he was spoiled immediately. Well done from Fife. Forced the contest and then he's tied up.
It's only 2 weeks in a row. Monty Crossmill's had the change of jumper. He had it against Redland as well. So they must have plenty of jumpers in reserve, I think, for these players.
Been in the wars the last couple of weeks. Turner wins it over the back. They tried to extract it towards Davis. Couldn't quite get away. Well done from Morrison to harass him. But eventually falls out. Hall gets a little bit of space. Good composure from Josh Hall. Finds Bowie. Has to play on Shaw. This should be elementary to send it out to a 44-point margin. He does. That's number 2 for Matt Shaw. Good kick from him. And Southport look like they're bounding away to a pretty good victory. I know it's only the third quarter, but they're showing some very fine form. 15-9, 99 to 9-1, 55. Almost 17 gone third quarter.
Yeah, no, they're right on top, aren't they? And look, they've 5 goals from their wingmen today, 2 from Shaw, 3 from Williams. What an asset it is to have players of that calibre and that ilk playing on the wing for them. And certainly their coaching staff have certainly recruited the type of players that they think can win flags, and they've really got some momentum today. This will really give them a lot of incentive with the finals around the corner.
Absolutely, and this we've said that, you know, this is the strongest team that Southport have put on the park in several weeks, and they're really showing that. Umpire puts it down in the middle. Turner over the top. Coming through Fife. Chisels a pass. Punched away there from Willis. Fife butters up, gets the second crumb and puts it to the top of the square. Hall waited underneath it. It actually went beyond that into the pocket over the boundary line, and we'll get a free kick to Sydney Uni. That will be accepted there by Mitch Rogers. So it was a good attacking effort. Well done by Fife, but they come across now Barkley. Geez, it's a dangerous bit of stuff here. Hiscox waits underneath it. Boston closing in.
So Hiscox, wait for players really to come to that side of the ground. Good lead from Stern. He'll go short to Cole. Haven't minded his game today, Ed Cole. He's done a couple of nice things. Sends it further afield, about 30 metres. Good spoil at the back there from Tate. Mentha immediately tackled there from Scrivenich. That's a throw, but the umpire was blindsided and given in the back 3. So it's going to go the way of Jack Mentha. And I think Scrivenich can consider himself a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, oh, you called it well. He was blindsided. Umpire couldn't see that, but he definitely laid the ball down. Fortunate to get the free kick. Oh, he's had a good game as young Jack Mentha.
Oh, look, he's been very impressive today, hasn't he? He's certainly given him some run from the pack, and when he's gone forward, he's looked very dangerous as well. Could have kicked, I think he's kicked 2 and probably could have kicked 4.
2 goals too, you're dead right, Bob.
So Mentha, he's got Clark defensively. That's where he goes initially. Now he's got Willis inboard. Taylor's presenting wide, and they've actually created the overlap here, Southport, if they want to go there. Instead, they go just straight down the middle. Not a bad option, I think. Further forward, the kick will go. Turner, Tagliabue goes over their heads. This favours Bowie if he can get it. If it pitches in, it just goes out of play. So I think Sydney University after quarter time, they've adjusted to the intensity of Southport a bit better, but Southport just proving a bit too good at the moment. Their skills and intensity of the contest has been quite outstanding today so far.
Yeah, got great depth, haven't they? Look, Mackenzie Willis is another one just to throw into the mix of going to be a great player in the finals time.
Said the other rock contest. His 5. Oh, from the boundary. Burns him off, Charlie Cameron style. Kicks a goal. Gets folded afterwards. Could get another kick here. It's a ripping goal from Dylan Fife. Southport players get around him. But geez, he put on the afterburners as soon as he got through that clearance, Bob.
Well, you caught it beautifully, Michael. It was Charlie Cameron-esque, wasn't it? It was from the boundary throw-in. It looked like Steph Markin knocking it down to Charlie and Charlie doing the business. But it was Dylan Fife. He's been a dynamo today for the Sharks, and well done to him. He's been one of their real workhorses throughout the year.
No extra kick. We're going back to the middle. Actually, could be Southport getting a kick. We'll find out. No, it's going to be a baller. But that was just a ripping goal there, Riley. Didn't he show some speed?
Yeah, he certainly did. And Southport in this third quarter, they've just gone into another gear, I reckon. And Sydney University, whilst trying valiantly, just haven't been able to quite go with it. Of course, we have mentioned a number of times, it's a very young Sydney University side against the well-oiled, experienced machine of Southport. It's back in the middle. Tagliabue fumbled it. Boston extracts it forward. Bowie gets there first for the Sharks. It falls to Mentha. Mentha's got an option inside. Well, Fife. Well, he tried to go one way, then the other. That was brilliant. Sends it forward. 2-on-2. Dale couldn't take the mark. Morrison does well. Stevenson feeds the hand pass. Finds Bartholomeus. Tagliabue. Hiscock's got some run. He's known for this. Sends it further wide. Trying to find his teammate. And Stewart with the elastoplast you mentioned before, Pricey. Board kick to Foster. Almost took the slips. Has to extract it towards some space. Dale does well and sockers it towards the boundary, but Sydney University look like they've got it covered.
They've got it covered indeed. Oh, gee whiz, what an awful bounce that was there for Barton. Now Dale kicks long. Free kick down the field, I think, as Dale was dealt with after he kicked that ball. I think Sirakowski might have actually hurt himself. Just having a look at that player getting up. No, it's actually Mitch Rogers. He's hurt himself in the whole event. Manteet now. 80-metre kick. Punched it towards the boundary line by Galton. Beautiful work. Sorry, I was just being silly. 80-metre kick.
Well, it was 80 for goal, but yeah, 80-metre kick.
80-metre kick required.
That was Barton's late tackle there that actually pushed his teammate into Dale that ended up copping it on the chin.
So back in contest, Hall front position. We've tapped it straight into Tagliabue. Eventually cleared from Golden, but it's going to go over the fence. Southport will come back inside 50. Just wait momentarily before the ball reaches Ryan Davis. So every play is pretty much in this half of the ground. It's going to be hard for him to find a target, but he's very good by foot. And he'll just set it up towards the pack. Have a jump at that one. Hall almost took it. That's a kick at goal. Oh, what a goal that was. I think that might have been Charlie Ford out of the pack. Just rode beautifully off the hands.
I reckon it was Jack Mentha again, wasn't it? He might be right. There's just so many bodies around it giving it to each other at the moment. It was a Southport goal regardless, wasn't it?
It certainly was. We'll get that confirmed for you, ladies and gentlemen, but well done there from the Sharks.
They're just dominating, aren't they? Look, they just look composed when they've got the footy. They can go slow if they need to. They chip it around, but when they need to hit a target, they do. And their forward line pressure, their defensive pressure, of all those forwards, you can give them all a tick. You got Fields, Mutu, all the little fellas, Mentha. They're all putting the pressure on. Mitch Johnson, and they're causing Uni backline plenty of headaches.
Back in the middle, Tagliabue wins it down off the hands of Bartholomeus. Morrison immediately tackled, throws it out of there almost. Then falls to Boston to Shaw. They're queuing up here now. The Sharks, they can sniff blood. Mutu, 60 metres out, sets it up. Johnson in a one-on-one in the square, goes over back. Well done from Kilpatrick. Goes over the line. But Southport last couple of weeks, they've worked themselves into really nice form before this final series, trying to go back-to-back.
There's 10-goal margin now, or 11-goal margin, 67 points. They're setting themselves very nicely. Stevenson plays on, beautifully delivered in the Golden direction. Spoiled, but Golden goes beautifully. Second effort, little left foot kick, dangerous, finds his target. So once Cole's got the ball at half back for the students, you get a wriggle on. Sense of urgency required. Chip down the line, or Davies was a good lead, but the kick just a metre or so too wide, out of bounds on the full. Southport going to bring this ball back with interest, he thinks, as Matt Shaw has it in the middle of the ground. He's got Andrew Boston by himself almost. Could have been a free kick, nothing happening. Ball dislodged. Coming back there, they've got time enough here. Murdoch back to Boston. Bought his own footy today, El Mucho. Full delivered pass finds Mutu. Right in front of the NEAFL TV commentary box. Round 21 on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Mutu waxes back with Boston. He's just setting it up. Seb Tate. Boston has had 26 disposals before three-quarter time. He's doing beautifully. They're just sharing all around now. Murdoch chips it to Miller. Just retaining possession, Bob. Running the students around. That's a long kick now. At the back of the contest, Fife. He's got the pace. Veal. Chipping left foot pass finds Stubbs. It was just patient work to bring it around the other side.
Yeah, just good use of by foot, wasn't it? Look, they didn't rush it. They gave themselves plenty of opportunity to pick out the best target. And Dylan Fife, what a 10 minutes or so he's had. He's been dynamic.
He's had a ripping effort. And Trent Stubbs kicked 2 goals today. Comes in from 45, tight angle. Reasonably struck, but just a little tight to the left. So 17-11, 1-1-3 plays 9-1-55. And since the students scored their last goal, Southport have piled on 4 goals too, just to extend that lead now. 68 points the margin.
Foster short.
Or 58, sorry.
So the students, they just look a little bit shell-shocked. Cole, good position, no one Turner.
We're a bit shell-shocked too, Riley. We've seen the students, and you called the game last week, they were very good, but they really haven't answered the challenge today so far.
No, well, certainly this is, it's probably going to dent confidence going to the finals as well. They've really been steamrolled today. Just haven't won enough footy at ground level, haven't spread well. Their use by foot's been ordinary. So Southport, on the other hand, have been fantastic in those areas.
But they certainly have. Well, it's a free kick to Banuelos. Of course, Sydney University, they had a home final on the line today. And it certainly looks at this stage they're going to have to travel. That'll be dependent on results later in the afternoon. But nonetheless, this sent their confidence quite a bit. Golden went laterally and basically went to where he marked it. Veal goes wide. Goes to a 2-on-1. Foster does well to get the spoil. It falls to the back. Barkley, now he's quick, goes short. Tries to find Crockmale. Big 1-on-1. Oh, well done there from the Sharks. Force the contest. Crockmale goes again. But Southport, you're really seeing these bigger bodies on show this afternoon. They are just out-muscling Sydney University.
Yeah, great stuff from Seb Tate there. He was busted for pace, but used his body and chopped out his opponent. Did beautifully. Ball spills now for Sydney Uni. Stevenson juggles one in the middle of the ground. But again, they're held up. The ball movement's just, I mean, there's patience, but if you're going to be bringing it around laterally, but holding it up to kick it straight down the line and bring it to 2-on-1, Seb Tate in front, it's a waste of time, Bob.
Yeah, look, their defence is so well structured. They've got much experience as they run out of defence now.
And here they go. Taylor. Oh, geez, he's found Matt Shaw. Oh, he crept up behind him. Did his opponent in Cordell, but Shaw had time enough to get to Mutu, almost in slow motion to Stubbs. He's still 80 metres from goal. He's not going to have a ping. He can't ask the umpire for 30 seconds here. So Stubbs, that's a long kick. Dangerous spot. Turner, big jet underneath it. Bowie picks it up, gets legged, and the umpire says he gets legged. So 15 metres out on a slight angle. Bowie's going to get a free kick.
Yeah, poor tackle there from Banuelos, and
just slipped down didn't it?
Yeah, it slipped down, and look, he's been pretty quiet. They've only had 2 or 3 players that really haven't worried the stats man too much. But having said that, they've probably played their role. What the Southport team do so well under the coaching of Stephen Daniel.
A lot of pressure, I suppose, that they're applying at ground level to keep the ball inboard. But Tim McCoy-Bowie comes in for the Sharks' 18th goal. Pokes it through. Extends that lead. It's over the 10-goal margin now to 64 points. Tim McCoy-Bowie with his first day. 18, 11, 119. To the students, not 155. Stranded on that score. Andrew Boston up to 28 disposals. Manta's got 20 for Southport. For Sydney Uni, 22 to Stevenson, 22 to Golden, and 21 to Bartholomeus.
Yeah, we look at this game so far, and we thought at half-time, we were having a chat just prior, we went back on the coverage, that we thought Sydney University were probably going to come back in this game. They had some really encouraging ball movement in the later stages of that second quarter, but that looks like it's been a bit of an area because they've been worried out of the contest since then. Just these bigger bodies of Southport are really proving problematic for this young Sydney University team. It's a credit this year that they've made the finals in the first place, but as we might have mentioned earlier, welcome the finals intensity against some of the best of the best. Is back in the middle. Morrison slipped over, got up, sends it forward. Well done there from Clark. It falls to Hiscox. Hiscox sends it towards a one-on-one. And it's going to be on last night. Cole feeds it further back, finds Stern, does a nice step, sets it towards goal, holds in the breeze. Willis has got the best sit and he can punch it through as it's almost gets, but it's three-quarter time. It is all the Sharkies here at Fankhauser Reserve. 64-point margin, 18-11, 119 to 9-155, 29 scoring shots to 10. Really tells the story of the game. Pure domination from the home side.
They certainly have just dominated, I suppose, but after Sydney University had the opening 10 minutes of the game, Southport have just wiped Fankhauser Reserve with them. And, they're putting up a fight, Sydney, but every time they get reasonably close, Southport just put the foot on the pedal, Bob.
Yeah, look, it's been very impressive, hasn't it? Certainly if there's a danger to the juggernaut of the Brisbane Lions, it certainly could come from this side today, Southport Sharks. They've certainly got the taste in the nostrils of finals, and look, full credit to Southport and their coaching staff. They've recruited, I think they lost a lot of players at the end of last year in their apprenticeship year, and they've recruited very, very well. It's seven or more really quality players. Matt Shaw, you've got certainly Tom Fields. Tom Miller has been a really good player for them today in defence. Josh Williams, Trent Stubbs, Jack Mentha, the list goes on. They've just been so very clean. Mackenzie Willis is one they got as well, who's come over from the Suns. You've got to take your hat off for their recruiting. They lost a lot of players. They lost 3 of their Fab 4. 3 of the Beatles have actually lost. They've lost this year, but Manteet, the only one of the Fab 4 still here, but he's got plenty of good teammates around him. Well done to Southport. They certainly deserve a big win here today.
Well, it looks like it's heading that way. 64 points at three-quarter time. Southport leading NEAFL round 21. We'll be back with the final quarter shortly. We're at Fankhauser Reserve for NEAFL TV round 21. It is the final round of the season. Southport at home to Sydney University, second versus fourth. And it's the Southport Sharks with a commanding 64-point lead at three-quarter time. They led by 29 at half-time and 22 at quarter time. Michael Price and Riley Starray calling all of your action for you. Bob Batty, the Encyclopedia of Queensland Footy, with the special comments. And the Sharkies are looking irrepressible at the moment, Bob.
Yeah, no, the coaching staff, Steve Daniel, Matty Primus and Mouse Lappin, they'll be grinning like Cheshire Cats at the moment. They're really looking good.
Umpire Langdon has the ball in the middle of Fankhauser, bangs it down. Jed Turner playing his 100th NEAFL game, gets it down to Davis. That's going up and down the chimney. Comes back down and predictably, players stuck underneath it just forward of the centre circles, and we get another ball up. We're looking at that scoreboard, 64 points. Southport kicked 6 goals, 5 to 1 straight goal in that decisive third quarter. Goulden, who's been good all day for the students, inside out torpedo to half forward. It bounces kind of strangely for Stewart. It's going to come out here for Murdoch. The Southport defence resolute all day, even under a bit of pressure there. Oh, gets it to Boak. He's tackled. Could be pinged for incorrect disposal, but no, Southport will get out of this. Miller, Matt Shaw has a bounce, showing some class, kicks it to the wing to a contest.
And towards the ruckman, Turner couldn't take the mark, but does well in the second receive. Does a feint, beautiful hand pass. Johnson, if he can run onto this and get some space, he can have a shot. Instead does the discipline, back to Fife. Beautiful play from the Sharks, and Hall's going to have the first shot of the final quarter, 35 metres out, directly in front. And for Southport, this will be the last bit of action they have for a couple of weeks. They're going to want to finish very strongly.
Yeah, they get the bye before the finals, basically locked in a home preliminary final here at Fankhauser. So the Cabana Bar will be rocking in a couple of weeks, but this is a good build-up to that final series.
So Hall played his role today, there's no doubt about that. Sets it on its way. It's a good, well, looked a good kick off the boot. The umpire might have fooled me just at the end, but one behind. First score of the final terms are minor, 18-12, 120 to 9, 155, early stages final term.
I think just to add a bit of insult to injury too, that breeze, which has been swirling around back and forth all day, is actually favouring the left of screen, which Southport are kicking to. So nothing going right for you at the moment. That kick did. It was a very good effort. Stern comes back into the middle, finds Morrison. He gets in front of Bucky. He wants to play on. He's done that a few times and to good effect. Unfortunately this time, Jed Turner got in the way for Southport. Handball to Clark. Fend off. Little left foot chip pass to find Fife. Relaxed into it. Pressured by Kilpatrick. Fife attempted to take off, but didn't. A little bit of patience. Delivers the ball back there to Manteet. They've set up nicely again, the Sharkies.
So Manteet defensively to Miller. Will go across the ground. Finds Taylor. He's got Willis over the top, and Willis has got a little bit of space if he's crafty enough. Goes inboard. Not a great kick. Finds Bartholomeus. But unfortunately for Sydney University, everyone was in the back half for them, so they're just going to have to prop Bailey Stewart. Going the Chris Judd Voldemort this afternoon. Stern turns around, sets it up. That's a good kick inside 50. There's all to the space, and the mark has been taken from Hiscox. He's going to have a shot from about 45 metres out. This will actually be number 3 for him if he kicks truly.
I'm just still giving over the Voldemort look. That's the elastoplast tucked under the nose just to expose the nostrils only. It's a good look.
It certainly is. Hiscox, 48 metres out, sets it on its way. He's kicked a goal. That's number 3 for him. Hasn't had a bad day at the office, Jake Hiscox. And Sydney University, it's a big final turn for them just to build a little bit of confidence heading into next week when they will play an elimination final, where it's basically sudden death from there. And brings it back to 59 points the margin. 18-12, 120, the 10-1, 61, 3.5 gone final term.
Yeah, full credit there to Josh Stern. He's been one of their better players today. He's created a little bit of havoc up forward, been probably one of their only key winners up forward. And nice finish there from Hiscox. But yeah, Goulden and certainly Stern have probably been their best two. Gee, they need a lift out of some of their experienced players. Bart and Sirakoski. They've been very, very quiet today.
They have. Barton's only had the 6 disposals, and Sirakoski with the 13. He's kicked a goal, but definitely Goulden with. He's only had the 24 odd disposals. Hiscock's 3 goals out of his 9. Jed Turner gets the clearance out of after a handball from Boston. Mentha could have copped one in the back. Oh, butted up beautifully. Got it back to Dale. Bounced, and Hall gets rid of his opponent nicely. Handball over the top in speculation, but it was more in hope than anything else. Students will get out of here. Bartholomeus wants to play on and get moving, but he's got nobody to kick the pill to. All to play on here. Didn't go the 15. This is the turnover waiting to happen. Foster just dropped the mark he should have taken, and it's a little lethargic from the students, Riley Starray, in this final quarter just to start proceedings.
Yeah, it is a little bit there. And I think one of their weaknesses, Sydney University, they have some really exciting ball movement, but it's high-risk ball movement, so whenever you miss those targets by a fraction, it really hurts them. And that's what's happened here this afternoon a number of times. It's back at the contest. Davis, 50 metres out. Good kick inside 50. Johnson. Well, he read it nicely because it came off the hands of Barkley. Pursues it once again. Hall goes as well. Bottom of the pack. Rogers. That could be holding the ball. And it is holding the ball. Not much has gone right for the students this afternoon. And Mitch Johnson will have a shot from about 20 metres out to line up for number 4.
Well, yeah, it was just desperation, wasn't it? We've mentioned it all day, the Southport forward line, their defensive pressure. Every time the students get it, they're under the pump. And that time, he was a bit unlucky. The boy Rogers, I think it was at the ground level, but he had the chance to knock it out.
I think he had prior opportunity.
He did.
Absolutely.
He had the chance to knock it out. When he didn't, he had 3 blokes tackling him. So Johnson's got the kick and get his 4th.
So Johnson for number 4 and send it back out. 65 points. He makes it look a little harder than he normally would, but it's there nonetheless. That's number 4 for him. And that is number 19 for the Sharks. Good scoring day at the office for 19-12, 126 to 10-1, 61. 6 minutes gone, final turn.
So we're back to 65 points. Biggest lead of the day for the Sharkies. Of course, just reiterating, if you're looking at their jumpers and thinking that's not the usual Southport jumper, well, it is because that is for the Hero on the Home Front charity. It's a fundraiser for veterans, and of course the green on the uniform is for the Heroes on the Home Front. That's their colours. The camouflage is for the armed services, and the poppy down this left and right side is in honour of the veterans. Good stuff from Southport. You can get in contact with the club. I think the jumpers are up for auction as well, so you can raise some funds there as Dale gets the clearance here. Chips it. Bounces away from Veal and Stevenson. Picked up there by Scrivenich. Gets back to Veal. He gets a handball away. Once again, the students will go into attack. That's a really well done by Cole to bring the ball to ground and go back and get it. Give it to Stevenson. Confronted by Tape. He breaks that tackle. Kicks long. Goes over the head. Southport defence on Miller. Tackled. Holding the agate. Good tackle. Well done there by Bailey Stewart. Wants to play on. From 50. Why not have a go? He does. And pulls it left violently. One behind. So 126 plays 62. 64 points the margin as it was at three-quarter time.
Short kicking from Murdoch finds short. I think one thing that Coach Tom Morrison would really want to clean up for the students is their ball movement inside 50. It's been really poor today. They've let a lot of opportunities slip. Clark, Taylor, good kick towards the wing. Good fly from Ford. Just came off the hands, and well done from Goulden to put the pressure on, and we'll have a throwing just short of the interchange gates.
Yeah, they've had winners all over the park, haven't they, Southport? And even their players that haven't had a lot of the footy have done a lot of team things and really impacted the scoreboard. So, well done. They're probably looking to get the big fella Turner up forward and spin kick a goal.
Oh, that'd
his 100th.
That'd be big. Wouldn't that bring the Cabana Bar to life? So Bowie overruns it. Fields picks it up. Actually turns it over there to Scrivenich. He goes into the middle of the ground, bites off a nice kick and finds Stern. He's had a good game today, Stern. The run of Hiscox, can't control it. Now it's picked up there by Willis. Tackled by Hiscox. Ball loose in the centre circles. Back to Scrivenich where it started. Bowie can't tackle. Now it comes back out now to Banuelos. He goes right, then left. Gets rid of Mentha. Touched off the boot. So this is going to be a contest through Davies. Punched away from him. Murdoch, Taylor, Williams. They love sharing the ball around in the defence, don't they? It's just delightful to watch some of the handball. Mentha. He's had a cracking game, the boy from Bell Park. He's got Shaw on the run. Let's not panic, lads. We've only put 19 on the board. We've still got about 10 minutes to go, actually, if not longer. And Bowie takes a mark in front of the interchange gates as we see Turner come off to the smiles and high fives of his teammates.
Bowie to Stubbs, goes over the backfield. Will pursue it, gets there first, beats Barton, hand passes it intelligently to Fife. Now he can kick it from there if he wants to. Instead goes inboard. You can see the option, it was the right one, but well done from Hiscox to chop off the kick because Johnson would have taken that. Goes further wide now for Unikill Patrick. Carroll just does enough, and then he's played on to Bartholomeus. I don't quite know why, but it worked out in the end. Stevenson down the line, finds Voldemort and Stewart. Hand passes inboard, now inside the forward 50. Davies, he hasn't had the greatest day at the office. He's harassed by Boki. Boston, the cavalry arrive here for Southport, but good pressure. Clark, Bowie, Boston, exemplary, and finds Manteet in the back pocket.
He's just all class, Andrew Boston, isn't he? Just carrying an extra kick or two this year, but beautiful delivery, as per always.
Is that tacos? Too many tacos, do you think?
Not sure what the story is, but it's kicked inside 50 again for Sydney Uni. Oh, he's a fairly fit unit specimen. He always has been, but just, he's been in a good paddock over the last couple of weeks. Southport to bring the ball out. Geez, that holds up in the breeze. It's a wobbler. Good spoiling effort there comes from Benuelos and takes it over the boundary line. But have a look. Andrew Boston has been superlative today. 30 disposals. He's had 22 kicks, 8 handballs and 3 tackles. He's a couple of pings at goal too. Hasn't scored one, but he's been dominant today. He and Manteet especially. So the students will get this clearance, though. It comes out Cordell, kicks it in the pocket once again. Southport defence read it beautifully. Seb Tate takes a brilliant defensive mark.
Floated over very nicely there, Seb Tate. So often does. Goes back towards back. Benuelos has eyes on this. Hall did too. Down the bottom of the pack. Fields feeds the hand pass. Ford done a couple of nice things today. Fife done a lot of nice things today. Same as Mentha. Now goes down the line. He's got Fields, who ran hard. If it pitches in, he is a lefty. He can set it forward. And now it's the foot race. Bowie tries to push off Kilpatrick, beats everyone. Still favour the Sharks. Mutu breaks the tackle, 45 metres out. He's got an option in the square. Brilliant from Southport. And Trent Stubbs has taken the mark. There's a lot of claps here for what was an outstanding bit of play from defending premiers.
Well, it wasn't it outstanding? Nearly play of the day, really. Going into that breeze. Just the block initially. I think it was little Charlie Ford initially that got it to Mentha and Fife, and they all got involved. And a beautiful kick from Dylan Mutu, who's slowly worked his way into this game.
So Stubbs for number 3. Be pretty content with his day at the office. Sends it on its way, and it's a beautiful kick for him. Another goal to the Sharks, and it sends it out to 70 points the margin. 20-12, 132 to 10-2, 62. Just over 12 minutes gone, final quarter.
Wow. That's all I can say is put him to the sword. 70 points. Talking second versus fourth here. And Southport really showing the power that they can bring to this final series.
I think that's the key point today, isn't it? They've got the sniff of the finals. They really lifted last year when it came to September, late August, and they're going to do it again. And certainly the coaching staff would be very happy with contribution from every one of these Sharkies today.
So looking back into the middle, Josh Hall up against Sam Tagliabue. He's had to battle really hard, Tagliabue, and carry this ruck. I know he's got a little bit of help from Ben Willis and whatnot, but he's carried against Jed Turner and Josh Hall. I think that, as you mentioned earlier, Bob, that was a big ask to start with. Certainly assisted Boston and Manteet, Fife likes. At ground level, Bartholomeus scoops it back out. Tagliabue involved. Back to Bartholomeus. Shoots a speculating handball out, and it goes past Goulden. Williams controls it beautifully by hand and takes on Tagliabue. Then has a bounce. He runs alongside Stevenson, gets a handball away to Dale. Dale back inboard to Fields. Fields on the left foot. Johnson at the back. What can he do? He brings it to ground. A lot of pressure on board. Johnson lays the tackle. Tries to tuck off the deck, but it's going to be coming out via Barkley. Shoots the handball out. Oh, South just bringing on the defensive, attacking pressure as it is. Barkley now. Once again, it's spoiling effort from Williams. Brings it to ground. Barkley goes back in. And this time it's taken over by Crockmall over the boundary line. You just can't get the ball out of defensive 50 at the moment. Southport's forward pressure enormous. Bob Batty.
Feverish. That's what I'd call it. It's become toxic, hasn't it, for poor old Uni? They just panic every time they get the ball now, and Southport tackling has been phenomenal.
I think the bigger bodies of Southport have really found Sydney Uni a bit wanting today, as will be tied up once again. But the defensive pressure from the Sharks has been outstanding. It's been a perfect tune-up the last couple of weeks. Big win over the Thunder and a big one today. Eerily similar to last year when they lost to Aspley with a couple of rounds to go, then really tuned up for the finals in what was a magical run as Fields sees it over the boundary. We'll have another throw in. 30 meters out.
This scoreline is also amazing when you consider Southport have had 56 inside 50s, Sydney Uni 37. So it's only a differential of 19. Now that's a reasonable amount, but it's not a 70-point margin.
It just shows the ruthless efficiency that they've played with today. Southport and Uni, the exact opposite. Tagliabue got front position, won the tap down. Well done from Bartholomew. Shark, it sends it towards half-back. Work there from Clark. He's been a good contributor today at half-back. He's normally a sure head. Okay. Hand pass to the back. Willis. Oh, good smother off the boot. Gets it. Nice to add to the fantasy point. Sets it up. That's a good mark. That is a fantastic mark. And the short chipping pass towards his pocket. Oh, you shot a goal here for Michael Manteet.
Well, we mentioned the Rolls Royce earlier, but he just had his name written all over that one when it was in the air. And
He's
as soon as he hit the ground, he knew where he was kicking it to. Like the Sydney Uni would be thinking about it for weeks.
As Manteet comes in and kicks it very nicely. This has been a fantastic afternoon for the Southport Sharks. They've really got on top. Is Michael Manteet's first goal of the day. Sends it out to 76 points the margin. 21-12, 138 to 10-2, Term shellacking comes to mind, Pricey, and that's what it's been.
Yeah, we've got to shellacking stage. We'll just see how it develops from here. But look, and especially more impressive for me considering the first 10 minutes of the game, Sydney Uni owned it. They had so many more inside 50s, couldn't convert. Southport slowly but surely just ground them into Fankhauser Reserve.
And it's been from hard work, hasn't it? It's been the effort, the real, the contested footy count would be that in front with Southport. It's not funny, but they've been good all over the ground. It's been a fantastic effort from them.
Just having a look around the grounds, and Redland are leading the Canberra Demons by 10 points, 20 minutes into the final term. Aspley, 18 points in front of the Northern Territory, halfway through the second term. Here at Fankhauser Reserve, it's 76 points the margin. Mind you, this is second playing fourth. It's just been brutal by Southport as Davis puts in just a fair, normal bump of Bartholomew, but that's probably indicative of the game. Bartholomew still down as the ball comes forward. Veal kicks it inside 50. Here's the contest. Big fly, and he's just gone back there again, as casual as you like. That's a really good effort from Manteet. He just, so calm. He just went across to half back there, found his teammate yet again. They're just doing this beautifully. Seb Tate.
They're stealing themselves very nicely. Tape goes short to Willis. So Willis is just content to hold it up. Not much movement ahead of the ball, but it's been a fantastic afternoon for Southport. Exactly what the doctor ordered.
Since half-time, Southport have kicked 9 goals, 6 to Sydney Uni's 2 goals, 1.
They've really just put the foot down, and they've gone in the finals mode now, and you imagine they're going to be pretty tough to beat by anyone, Brisbane Lions included. Hall to Boston. Probably been best on ground today. Willis goes back. They've got the plus one here on this broadcast wing if they bring it. Tate goes to Boki. Now Shaw's pushing ahead of him if he turns around quickly, and Boki is a left footer. That's where it goes. That's a good ball as well. Shaw steps inside, heads towards the boundary to Clark, who's also a lefty. Well, that's a tumbling sort of a ball forward about 30 metres. Johnson will pursue Sirakoski. Sirakoski just got rid of it, didn't want anything to do with it. Veal. Johnson pursues him again. And the intent of the football from Southport today has been significantly superior compared to Sydney University.
Yeah, just a few hands go in where the body should have been just then, as Davis gets the ball out to Boston yet again. BOG Boston, no problem. Shaw goes high. Johnson and Hall at the back. He comes through. And he butters up and does well, the big fella. He runs like a cat, doesn't he, on his feet, and he goes for it. For a bloke of his size, he does beautifully, Bob Batty.
Yeah, good agility. That's always been one of his strengths. Just the work rate. Mitch Johnson there led for the footy and did 3 efforts after he didn't quite get it. So that shows you the effort.
Fife, Austin Johnson. Oh, threw his hands over the back, called it a bit too early. Uni, Kilpatrick, tackled by Stubbs. Kicked the ball, Manteet. That was a great tackle. It's going to cause a goal here. Manteet to Davis. Davis, what's he going to do? Kick it over the heads of everybody to Hall. Beautiful effort. And it was that tackle that basically caused the whole problem for Sydney University. Josh Hall can go back and kick his 4th.
Yeah, again, we keep mentioning it, don't we, with Davis, but every time he gets the ball, it looks like a score coming, or usually a goal for Southport. He's such a very good player, but here goes Hall.
Goal number 4 for Josh Hall. Pops it through nicely. We have hit 22 goals, 12, 144. And if you think 144 equals gross, it's pretty gross for Sydney University. That's a dad joke. 82 points is the margin at Fankhauser Reserve, and it's gone from shellacking to pizzling territory, Riley. Right?
It certainly has, and in terms of gross, it's quite stinky for Sydney University, let's be honest. They've had such a positive 2 months as well, but they've played some really good opposition. But Southport, they've just gone up to another level. It's almost like a couple of weeks before the finals, they've just bang, it's finals time, let's start playing some real footy.
And you can't really say that Sydney Uni haven't tried. They've been putting in the effort. Southport have just been sublime to.
So back in the middle. One down that time well from Van Walos. Trying to throw a boot at it there. It was Dale. Tied up bottom of the pack. Do you see a Southport in the final series if they come up against the Brisbane Lions, which a lot of teams tip for that grand final? Do you feel like they'll be able to go with them?
Poor. Play against a Brisbane Lions side with a few out, and they're playing it here. Anything can happen at Fankhauser Reserve, especially with the Cabana Bar in full voice. Here goes Uni in attack again, but look at it again. The Southport defence, it's a well-oiled machine. And Williams, Bogey and Miller just sort of waxing a bit with the handball, though. And the ball goes over the boundary line. We're going to throw in. Yeah,
one of the few errors they've actually had for the whole day in defence. They've been so clean, haven't they, out of defence and used the ball so well. Just been impressed with Miller. It's my first look at him this year, and former Tura captain, and he's been very solid back there in defence, and he's got the job on Davies. He's had that a little bit of the game too.
Oh, he's done a pretty good job if that's the case. Now here's Cox from 45, standing start, kicks it to the top of the square. Oh, big fly came from Davies, but he couldn't quite take it. Once again, Miller's there, and Miller's got I suppose a bit of history with Coach Steve Daniel as well. He 6 years ago, he was in country. About 6 years ago, he won a premiership with Steve Daniel in Country Victoria. So he's got a bit of history with the Southport coach.
And Southport look like they're going to go on a procession again. Turner feeds it back to Boston. Bet you this will hit a chest almost. There we go. Johnson turns around, sets it up inside the forward 50. Stubbs could mark this here. He almost does. Comes off hand. Sydney University get the troops back. Well done there from Hiscox. Sends it to the middle of the ground. That was it was almost nice because Cromwell dropped the certainty. Taylor hand passes it, but it goes straight to a student and sent forward eventually from Stevenson. Davies finally has some space, but the bounce crawled him. Miller goes at it hard, punches it towards the boundary. He's still going towards the boundary. Good one-on-one contest here, but Miller wins that decisively. Davies tried his heart out there, but when it's not your day, it's not your day, and it hasn't been Tristan Davies' day.
Well, it was a beautiful kick from Stevenson that gave Davies the real opportunity to have the sit on Miller, but Miller, to his credit, got the hand in, got the fist in, worked hard and got it over the boundary line. Yeah. Really good work.
Yeah, he battled really hard, and he did the defender's job there, Bob Batty, didn't he? Just crawled all over his attacking player. Hiscox, standing start, 45, the Dale. Well done by Turner. Now Williams sold the big dummy and gave it over to El Mucho. As I say, he brought his own foot today. Kicks it down the line. Fields holds it up. Just happy to hold it up. Why not? You're leading by plenty. Kick down the line. Spoiling effort from Uni. It's going to end up in the hands of Short. Kicks forward. Johnson now growing in confidence as the season progresses, and that's dangerous for all opposition. Mutu inside 50. Stubbs. It fell nicely for him, but he had to take the mark in front of his opponent there in Rogers, and he did so. He's going to have a shot 40 metres out directly in front.
It's a skill of kicking the ball to your teammate's advantage, isn't it? When your forward sort of one out with his opponent, you don't want to kick it to the defensive side. You want to kick it to the kicking side, and he read that beautifully, Stubbs, and Mutu really kicked it to his advantage. So well done. They've done that all day, and he's been a nice little acquisition today, Stubbs. He's getting his confidence back.
Certainly is a good acquisition for the Sharks. He's kick three, comes in, pulls a little left this time, one behind results, 22-13, 145, 83-point margin for Southport over the Students, 10-62.
He certainly has been a good acquisition for Southport, Trent Stubbs. He's that one element they didn't have last year. Feel like he proved a factor in the finals. Is back at the plate. Turner pursued there from Foster. Rides him like a cowboy. To the ball eventually. Well done from Cole. Just hacked it forward, but like a lot of the ball used today, forward ball from Sydney University hasn't been the greatest, but now it's worked out okay. The Carroll's immediately tackled. That's one thing I think they really need to work on during training this week, heading forward for Sydney University, Bob. Their ball movement, their system forward is just really lacking today over the last few weeks.
Yeah, haven't had a forward that's real. Apart from Stearns probably given them a little bit of a focus, but really they've had nothing else.
So it's Cole tackled. Boston wraps him up. They do a big rollover in front of the umpire who's going to ball it up. We play it. It's late in the final term. The margin itself now is out to 83 points. Rove there by Crockmall. He bounces it inside 50 to Bailey Stewart. Breaks a tackle. Handball back to Foster. He's under a bit of pressure. Kicks forward. Stern. Will it bounce for him? No, it doesn't. It bounces away from him. And one behind results. That's the first score for Sydney Uni since the 7 mark of this final term. Now brings it back to the 82-point margin.
Southport content to just hold it up. Head towards what in the end has been a pretty comfortable victory. They've been very good today. Short, middle of the ground. Oh, look at the kick and look at the mark from Tate. Ex-teammates, of course, at the Suns. Tate went to Mutu with the hands. Kick wasn't the greatest, but Southport will try and converge and put the pressure on. Sydney University eventually work it away. Well done from Stevenson. Heads forward to Stern. Now he's about 60 metres out. He can wheel around. There's a free player in the 50 in Crockmall if he wants to go there. Instead sends it forward, but Seb Tate. What a crap. He just went into the hole beautifully. That was all courage. He sends it out to Shaw.
When you're 80-odd points in front, Bob, you've got the finals. You're on the eve of the finals. Putting your body in like that, that's not negotiable. That's wonderful.
Yeah, no, that'd be sort of having videos of that and showing players that's the sort of courage and the sort of commitment you need for your team to win a flag.
Andrew Boston up to 38 disposals. Mentha just overruns the ball that goes back and tackles Rogers into the ground. Bartholomeus, he's been trying all day, Bartholomeus. Kicks it down the line, finds Foster. If the interchange Gates, 45 kick. Again, Goulden, probably the best for Sydney Uni all day. Chips forward. Now it's his Cox. He can have a go from here. From 55, Jack Cox. Bang and no. Just floats across and one behind. Almost gave Uni a highlight in the final term. Back to an 81-point margin. That's right, Southport leading late in the final term.
Willis. Send it towards half-back Turner. Flies at this. So does Tate. Couldn't quite take. Seb Tate's down here. Just behind the plate as it goes out of bounds.
It's just an old man's recovery from a marking effort there.
I think it's a cramp.
Yeah. Leather poisoning, something like that.
Yeah, it looks like it is a cramp. He's getting the trainer to assist. Gets up and walk himself and position himself. All's well. It's been a very good day for Southport. Last thing in the last couple of minutes is any sort of injury. Turner wins it over the back. Boston almost got possession. 39. Good tackle from Veal. Have a ball up about 65 metres out from the attacking goal here for Uni. Turner wins it again. Banuelos immediately tackle, and there's the siren. It's the Sharks who have just found themselves 80-point winner this afternoon, 22-13, 145, 10-5, 65. A magnificent performance from Southport just before the finals. And they're going to be very content. They've got the bye next week, and they'll head into a home preliminary final full of confidence.
Yeah, the Cabana Bar absolutely love that. Home ground advantage, well, 8 points it turned out to be here for the Southport Sharks. They've sent a warning out to the Brisbane Lions and the like. We're not done with yet for season 2019. Well, we are for the home and away season. Comes the second part, the final, and they have announced to everybody that they're going to be a big part of that, Bob Batty.
They certainly have, haven't they? Contributors all over the ground, no better than El Mucho, Andrew Boston. He was brilliant today. Matt Shaw was very good. Matt Teat was good. The Rolls Royce in the middle, Ryan Davis, he could play anywhere. Seb Tate down back. Look, they had winners all over the ground. Lee Dale was good. Mitch Johnson kicked 5 and be probably lucky to get in their best players. So, look, they had winners everywhere. Josh Hall was good. Williams was good. And Jack Mentha had a standout game for him as well. For Sydney Uni, there's not many who could put their hand up. Adam Goulden, I thought, was their best. Thought Bartholomeus tried hard, but disposal let him down a bit. Morrison at times was good. Young Stern up forward, I thought he showed the flag today and really had a crack. But after that, they had a lot of disappointed players and plenty to work with. Tom Morrison's got to go back to the drawing board and see what he can get going in the next week or so.
It certainly was a wake-up call for Sydney University. We'll run you through the goal kickers, and I think what will impress Coach Steve Daniel the most, there was 11 goal kickers today for Southport, so a very even spread. Mitch Johnson, he kicked 4, continues his good months. Josh Hall kicked 4, Stubbs with 3, Matty Shaw with 2, Josh Williams with 2, including an absolute rip snorer in the second quarter where he sold the candy for days. Jack Mentha kicked 2. I thought he was very good today as well in singles to Field, Charlie Ford, Dylan Fife, Michael Manteet and Tim McCoy-Bowie, whilst for Sydney University, a little bit of a grimace story. Jake Hiscox, he kicked 3, Foster 2, and then it's just singles to Will Sirakoski, Stern, Tristan Davies, Goulden, and Ed Cole.
And if you look at the disposal count, Andrew Boston, 29 disposals, but led the tackling stats with 5 tackles as well. And they're very happy. As we see Big Jed Turner being chaired off the field for his 100th NEAFL game. Ripping player. And Bob, he's that kind of bloke who's just all intent.
Yeah, epitomises the effort of their team today. A player like that is a milestone game, 100th game, and the team responds the way they did, and they carried him off, and he deserved to be carried off. He's been a great player for many, many years, not only for Southport, but for every team that he's played with. So well done to Big Jed Turner.
Yeah, former Sydney Uni student. He's won a premiership with Aspley back in 2014, and he's won a premiership with Southport here last year. Congratulations to Jed Turner, and congratulations to the Southport Sharks. The final game of the home and away season, they have won by 80 points here at Fankhauser Reserve. On behalf of Riley Starray, Bob Batty, Geordie, Camera Genius, and all of the great NEAFL stuff, including Jess Ben, and who else have we got here? Luke Gaddy as well. He's the big boss. I've got to say hello to him. Thanks very much for joining us on NEAFL TV. Getting ready for a fantastic final series coming next week.